यूनिवर्सिटी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट,
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरीडे।
प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो, मिलाओ और खाओ।
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
Tonight there's an image that's going viral, and that is from the G7 summit happening in the French Alps. And what is that one image? It is the image of a long and warm conversation between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is the image. When Narendra Modi enters the room and Donald Trump stands up, shakes hands, and then they are talking hand in hand for a long time. This is happening in the G7 summit in Evian. And I want to tell you right at the start why this one handshake carries far more weight than the photograph in front of you suggests. Because if you see the positioning, you see the importance in the global arena of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India, and we should all feel extremely proud of that. If you see the official picture that is taken, and that itself is power play of a different kind, and I would like to show those pictures. When the official picture is taken in Evian, France, where the G7 meeting is happening, you see Donald Trump come out for the official photograph, and then he walks down the blue carpet, and then he has a conversation with Macron, and there you see the British Prime Minister, and eventually all the world leaders, they gather for the official photograph. And as they come out on the lawns for that official photograph, you shall see President Macron, the host, in the middle, with Narendra Modi to his left and Donald Trump to his right. Narendra Modi is on his left, Donald Trump is on his right, and that picture, ladies and gentlemen, tells the story of India's significance in the global arena. This is the most powerful set of global leaders who are meeting together, and India there is right there on top. And here is my message from that picture. It is a message to everyone who said, oh, India is wilting under American pressure. That picture tells the story of a country that has held its own and is respected globally. This meeting is happening at a time when the whole world knows how India has held its ground in geopolitics and global economics. We have not only held our ground, we have kept our strategic options open, and most importantly, this meeting is happening ahead of Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to India in September. And this is the first Modi-Trump handshake in 16 months. So when you see that picture of Prime Minister Narendra Modi talking there to Putin, Prime Minister Narendra Modi engaging directly with Donald Trump, viewers, remember India has 12 bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the G7. This is a very important meeting tomorrow. It is the first handshake between Modi and Trump in 16 months. It's been tense. These have been 16 months of negotiations, 16 months of pressure, but at the end of 16 months, a lot of respect that Donald Trump has there for Narendra Modi. This is the first handshake after India declined Trump's offer to mediate. It is the first handshake after all the pressure on tariffs. It is the first handshake, ladies and gentlemen, after everything, and we all know what happened in the last 15 to 16 months. It is the first handshake after Operation Sindoor. And I personally feel extremely proud of the way we've carried ourselves. And now we shall see a reimagination of Indian foreign policy. And if there's one thing which comes out clear is, after 16 months, after 18 months, or whatever happened in the world, we have come out looking so much stronger, feeling so much stronger. Tonight there's an image that's going viral, and that is from the G7 summit happening in the French Alps. And what
Co-powered by Crystal Crop Protection, देश का किसान, देश का हीरो.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद यही तो है इसकी खास बात. वाओ मामा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा.
राजा आर प्योर मसाला केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार. विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी.
प्यास बुझाए ठंडक लाए सबको भाई जीरा से MTH का जल जीरा जीरा से
जीरा सिप असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा.
MTH
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला. डिलीशियस, हेल्दी, एवरीडे.
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं.
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा. रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना.
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं. रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड. चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ.
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट. अब बताओ, स्वाद आया?
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट.
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ.
8 मिनट में तैयार.
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला.
Tonight there's an image that's going viral, and that is from the G7 summit happening in the French Alps. And what is that one image? It is the image of a long and warm conversation between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is the image. When Narendra Modi enters the room and Donald Trump stands up, shakes hands, and then they are talking hand in hand for a long time. This is happening in the G7 summit in Evian. And I want to tell you right at the start why this one handshake carries far more weight than the photograph in front of you suggests. Because if you see the positioning, you see the importance in the global arena of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India, and we should all feel extremely proud of that. If you see the official picture that is taken, and that itself is power play of a different kind, and I would like to show those pictures. When the official picture is taken in Evian, France, where the G7 meeting is happening, you see Donald Trump come out for the official photograph, and then he walks down the blue carpet, and then he has a conversation with Macron, and there you see the British Prime Minister, and eventually all the world leaders, they gather for the official photograph. And as they come out on the lawns for that official photograph, you shall see President Macron, the host, in the middle, with Narendra Modi to his left and Donald Trump to his right. Narendra Modi is on his left, Donald Trump is on his right, and that picture, ladies and gentlemen, tells the story of India's significance in the global arena. This is the most powerful set of global leaders who are meeting together, and India there is right there on top. And here is my message from that picture. It is a message to everyone who said, oh, India is wilting under American pressure. That picture tells the story of a country that has held its own and is respected globally. This meeting is happening at a time when the whole world knows how India has held its ground in geopolitics and global economics. We have not only held our ground, we have kept our strategic options open, and most importantly, this meeting is happening ahead of Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to India in September. And this is the first Modi-Trump handshake in 16 months. So when you see that picture of Prime Minister Narendra Modi talking there to Putin, Prime Minister Narendra Modi engaging directly with Donald Trump, viewers, remember India has 12 bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the G7. This is a very important meeting tomorrow. It is the first handshake between Modi and Trump in 16 months. It's been tense. These have been 16 months of negotiations, 16 months of pressure, but at the end of 16 months, a lot of respect that Donald Trump has there for Narendra Modi. This is the first handshake after India declined Trump's offer to mediate. It is the first handshake after all the pressure on tariffs. It is the first handshake, ladies and gentlemen, after everything, and we all know what happened in the last 15 to 16 months. It is the first handshake after Operation Sindoor. And I personally feel extremely proud of the way we've carried ourselves. And now we shall see a reimagination of Indian foreign policy. And if there's one thing which comes out clear is, after 16 months, after 18 months, or whatever happened in the world, we have come out looking so much stronger, feeling so much stronger. Tonight there's an image that's going viral, and that is from the G7 summit happening in the French Alps. And what is that one image? It is the image of a long and warm conversation between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is the image. When Narendra Modi enters the room and Donald Trump stands up, shakes hands, and then they are talking hand in hand for a long time. This is happening in the G7 summit in Evian. And I want to tell you right at the start why this one handshake carries far more weight than the photograph in front of you suggests. Because if you see the positioning, you see the importance in the global arena of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India, and we should all feel extremely proud of that. If you see the official picture that is taken, and that itself is power play of a different kind, and I would like to show those pictures. When the official picture is taken in every...
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Thank you for joining us on This Is Exclusive, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are coming to you with a story of this AIMPLB leader. Now he represents all of AIMPLB. Now what is AIMPLB? The AIMPLB is the All India Muslim Personal Law Board. Now they claim that they are the body, apex body, fighting for Muslims and Muslim rights in India. And this man, his name is Maulana Sajjad Nomani. He is the spokesperson for the All India Muslim Personal Law Board. Now, he attended an event in February called the Islamic Conclave or Islamic Summit or something like that. A speech that he made in February has been uploaded today on the platform that conducted the summit. And what he has to say is extremely dangerous. We're getting you details of that. Here are the headlines. First up. Peace deal has been signed. The West Asian war is officially now over. Strait of Hormuz will be opened up for navigation once again. All India Muslim Personal Law Board says Hindus are not a majority anymore. They refuse. They say it's hard to believe. It's impossible that Hindus are a majority. They say they have been trying hard to divide Hindus for years and decades. They hold a meeting to confirm how many MPs are with them, but unfortunately, only 3 show up. The split is confirmed. Now, this event itself was conducted in February this year, but the clips have been uploaded online by the Millat Times in the last few days. But what is said in this video by the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, or AIMPLB, is way too dangerous. They say there is no way that Hindus are a majority in India. This is the All India Muslim Personal Law Board saying it officially. Saying Hindus have no right to call themselves a majority. Now, these were comments that were made by the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, which says that they have tried for long to divide Hindus. And they say that Hindus, there are no Hindus. In fact, some blanket statements being made to the tune of there are no Hindus left in Tamil Nadu anymore. Jats are not Hindus. SCs are not Hindus. There were many controversial claims made. But what it said, what it tells us is that the All India Muslim Personal Law Board has a motive of dividing the Hindu community. Why would they do that? Listen in, this is a very, very revealing soundbite.
मैं हजर अस्वद और खाने काबा के गिलाफ पर हाथ रखकर कहता हूं कि भारत में हिंदू अकलियत में है। किसी कीमत पर हिंदुओं को अक्सरियत में नहीं माना जा सकता। मैं फिर दोहराता हूं, सिख हिंदू नहीं है, क्रिश्चियंस हिंदू नहीं है, बुद्धिस्ट हिंदू नहीं है, शेड्यूल कास्ट के लोग हिंदू नहीं हैं, ट्राइबल लोग, आदिवासी लोग जो इस मुल्क के असली बाशिंदे हैं, सबसे कदीम, वो भी हिंदू नहीं हैं। तमिलनाडु के लोग हिंदू नहीं हैं, लिंगायत हिंदू नहीं हैं। आप सोचिए ज़रा, हमारी ये नावाकफी है अपने मुल्क से, और शुरू से जो हमने हिंदुओं को बांटा है, ये सेकुलर हिंदू हैं, ये कम्युनल हिंदू हैं। इस तकसीम ने हमको बहुत धोखा दिया है। पहले सेकुलर हिंदुओं ने हमको नुकसान पहुंचाया, सो कॉल्ड सेकुलर हिंदू। अब वो लोग जो फासिस्ट हिंदू हैं, उनके हाथ में उन्होंने मुल्क को परोस दिया। मैं आपसे बहुत सफाई के साथ कहता हूँ, लोग भी ऐलान कर रहे हैं कि अब हम ऐलान कर बाकायदा सिख मज़हब कबूल करेंगे। हम जाट हैं, हिंदू नहीं हैं, हमें हिंदू बना दिया गया। इसलिए हम इस बात का ऐलान करने के लिए कि हम हिंदू नहीं हैं और सरकारी कागजात में हम अपने आप को सिख डिक्लेयर करेंगे। वेस्टर्न यूपी से लेकर हरियाणा तक के जाट इस बात का ऐलान कर चुके हैं। हज़ारों की पंचायतें उनकी जमा होकर इसका ऐलान कर रही हैं। मैं हजर अस्वद और खाने काबा के गिलाफ पर हाथ रखकर कहता हूं कि भारत में हिंदू अकलियत में है। किसी कीमत पर हिंदुओं को अक्सरियत में नहीं माना जा सकता। मैं फिर दोहराता हूं, सिख हिंदू नहीं है, क्रिश्चियंस हिंदू नहीं है, बुद्धिस्ट हिंदू नहीं है, शेड्यूल कास्ट के लोग हिंदू नहीं हैं, ट्राइबल लोग, आदिवासी लोग जो इस मुल्क के असली बाशिंदे हैं, सबसे कदीम, वो भी हिंदू नहीं हैं। तमिलनाडु के लोग हिंदू नहीं हैं, लिंगायत हिंदू नहीं हैं। आप सोचिए ज़रा, हमारी ये नावाकफी है अपने मुल्क से, और शुरू से जो हमने हिंदुओं को बांटा है, ये सेकुलर हिंदू हैं, ये कम्युनल हिंदू हैं। इस तकसीम ने हमको बहुत धोखा दिया है। पहले सेकुलर हिंदुओं ने हमको नुकसान पहुंचाया, सो कॉल्ड सेकुलर हिंदू। अब वो लोग जो फासिस्ट हिंदू हैं, उनके हाथ में उन्होंने मुल्क को परोस दिया। मैं आपसे बहुत सफाई के साथ कहता हूँ, लोग भी ऐलान कर रहे हैं कि अब हम ऐलान कर बाकायदा सिख मज़हब कबूल करेंगे। हम जाट हैं, हिंदू नहीं हैं, हमें हिंदू बना दिया गया। इसलिए हम इस बात का ऐलान करने के लिए कि हम हिंदू नहीं हैं और सरकारी कागजात में हम अपने आप को सिख डिक्लेयर करेंगे। वेस्टर्न यूपी से लेकर हरियाणा तक के जाट इस बात का ऐलान कर चुके हैं। हज़ारों की पंचायतें उनकी जमा होकर इसका ऐलान कर रही।
It's a very dangerous statement, ladies and gentlemen, where the All India Muslim Personal Law Board goes on record to say that Hindus are not a majority. They say that they have been trying hard to make a point and to divide the Hindu community. And that is the All India Muslim Personal Law Board spokesperson. The BJP has also responded to this. Let's play out the BJP response. BJP questioning the communal claim and what comes through in this soundbite at an event that took place in February this year. This was called the Millat Times Conclave 2026, where the All India Muslim Personal Law Board made this comment. And it is the chief spokesperson of the AIMPLB who made this comment, which makes it all the more serious. He says there is an attempt to divide Hindus. Now, this All India Muslim Personal Law Board spokesperson says that for the longest time they've been trying to divide Hindus.
तो आखिरकार जो जिहादी सोच है कि हिंदुओं को बांटो, भारत को कमजोर करो, वो सामने निकल कर आ गई। मौलाना सज्जाद नोमानी, जिन्होंने MVA महा विकास अघाड़ी के लिए महाराष्ट्र में वोट जिहाद की अपील की थी, वो कहते हैं हिंदू अब देश में बहुसंख्यक नहीं है, हिंदू को हमने बांट दिया है। SC समाज हिंदू नहीं है, ट्राइबल हिंदू नहीं है, फिर वो कहते हैं जाट हिंदू नहीं है, और इन सबको हमने डिवाइड कर दिया है। और केवल सेकुलर और कॉम्युनल में डिवाइड करके नहीं चलेगा, अब कंप्लीट सोल्यूशन की ओर बढ़ना पड़ेगा। और ये कौन है? ये वही जहरीला व्यक्ति है जिसने MVA के कैंडिडेट्स को समर्थन दिया। हमने देखा था कि NCP शरद पवार के कैंडिडेट उनसे समर्थन मांग रहे थे। हमने देखा कि वोट जिहाद की अपील की, मतलब हिंदुओं को बांटो टुकड़ों में, कभी जाति के नाम पर, कभी और नाम पर, और फिर मुस्लिम वोट बैंक को एक। और यही चीज तो दरअसल इनके राजनीतिक आका कांग्रेस पार्टी करती है। समाजवादी पार्टी, तृणमूल कांग्रेस, ये सभी पार्टियां इसी प्रोपेगेंडा और एजेंडे में चलती है कि हिंदू को बांटो, डिवाइड करो, कभी कास्ट लाइंस पर, कभी लैंग्वेज लाइंस पर, और मुस्लिम वोट बैंक को एक करो। तो दरअसल सज्जाद नोमानी वही बात कर रहे हैं जो राहुल गांधी करते हैं। राहुल गांधी और सज्जाद नोमानी का एजेंडा एक ही है, मकसद इनका एक ही है, तरीके अलग अलग हैं।
We have Swami Nirbayanand Saraswati joining us on the show. In fact, we're supposed to get him live, but we're having some difficulty getting his video through. So, taking him on the phone. Good evening, Swami Nirbayanand Saraswati ji. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Good evening, Niranjan.
Yes, so the All India Muslim Personal Law Board says Hindus are not a majority. They say that for years they've been trying to divide Hindus. That's what is coming through in this video of a speech that is made by the All India Muslim Personal Law Board. They say Lingayats are not Hindus, Jats are not Hindus. How do you react to this? Can you hear me, sir? Okay, I'm just going. I think I just lost the line there. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Swami Nirbayananda? I just lost your line there. Okay, we'll come back to the story. We'll come back to the story and get him on the story in a short while from now. I'm getting in some more breaking news right now as reactions continue to pour in. As America wakes up to news of the peace deal. It's been officially signed today. The deal says US will remove its forces from the proximity of Iran within 30 days after the final deal. And despite Trump saying it's fake news that $300 billion has been set aside for the reconstruction of Iran, that's exactly what has happened. Now, Trump claimed that $300 billion fund to rebuild Iran was fake news. But lo and behold, that's exactly what the blueprint says. Iran's document shows that $300 billion has been set aside for reconstruction and economic development of Iran. So here's the joke. America bombs Iran. America spends upwards of hundreds of dollars, upwards of $150 billion. And then they give Iran $300 billion for reconstruction. And that's the signature. Among the pointers, ceasefire has been declared on all fronts, including Lebanon. US and Iran pledged to respect sovereignty and avoid interference. Final deal targeted within 60 days, extendable by consent. US begins lifting naval blockade and reducing military presence. Iran guarantees safe commercial shipping through the Gulf. 300 billion reconstruction and economic plan has been proposed for Iran. These are some of the key takeaways. All Iran-related sanctions will be phased out under a final deal. And Iran reaffirms it will not develop nuclear weapons. And status quo has been maintained during negotiations on sanctions and nuclear program. And Iranian oil exports and related services will resume immediately. Some of the key takeaways. Frozen Iranian funds will be made available for use. So Iran wins in this deal, whichever way you look at it. There is also a joint monitoring mechanism to oversee implementation of this MOU, and formal negotiations began after key confidence building steps taken by both sides. Final agreement to receive UN Security Council endorsement. That's all the time we had on this edition of the news. Headlines continue. Super Prime Time coming up next. Thanks for watching.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
जीरा सिप, असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चंकी चाट।
Tonight there's an image that's going viral, and that is from the G7 summit happening in the French Alps. And what is that one image? It is the image of a long and warm conversation between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is the image. When Narendra Modi enters the room and Donald Trump stands up, shakes hands, and then they are talking hand in hand for a long time. This is happening in the G7 summit in Evian. And I want to tell you right at the start why this one handshake carries far more weight than the photograph in front of you suggests. Because if you see the positioning, you see the importance in the global arena of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India, and we should all feel extremely proud of that. If you see the official picture that is taken, and that itself is power play of a different kind, and I would like to show those pictures. When the official picture is taken in Evian, France, where the G7 meeting is happening, you see Donald Trump come out for the official photograph, and then he walks down the blue carpet, and then he has a conversation with Macron, and there you see the British Prime Minister, and eventually all the world leaders, they gather for the official photograph. And as they come out on the lawns for that official photograph, you shall see President Macron, the host, in the middle, with Narendra Modi to his left and Donald Trump to his right. Narendra Modi is on his left, Donald Trump is on his right, and that picture, ladies and gentlemen, tells the story of India's significance in the global arena. This is the most powerful set of global leaders who are meeting together, and India there is right there on top. And here is my message from that picture. It is a message to everyone who said, oh, India is wilting under American pressure. That picture tells the story of a country that has held its own and is respected globally. This meeting is happening at a time when the whole world knows how India has held its ground in geopolitics and global economics. We have not only held our ground, we have kept our strategic options open, and most importantly, this meeting is happening ahead of Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to India in September. And this is the first Modi-Trump handshake in 16 months. So when you see that picture of Prime Minister Narendra Modi talking there to Putin, Prime Minister Narendra Modi engaging directly with Donald Trump, viewers, remember India has 12 bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the G7. This is a very important meeting tomorrow. It is the first handshake between Modi and Trump in 16 months. It's been tense. These have been 16 months of negotiations, 16 months of pressure, but at the end of 16 months, a lot of respect that Donald Trump has there for Narendra Modi. This is the first handshake after India declined Trump's offer to mediate. It is the first handshake after all the pressure on tariffs. It is the first handshake, ladies and gentlemen, after everything, and we all know what happened in the last 15 to 16 months. It is the first handshake after Operation Sindoor. And I personally feel extremely proud of the way we've carried ourselves. And now we shall see a reimagination of Indian foreign policy. And if there's one thing which comes out clear is, after 16 months, after 18 months, or whatever happened in the world, we have come out looking so much stronger, feeling so much stronger. Tonight there's an image that's going viral, and that is from the G7 summit happening in the French Alps. And what is that one image? It is the image of a long and warm conversation between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is the image. When Narendra Modi enters the room and Donald Trump stands up, shakes hands, and then they are talking hand in hand for a long time. This is happening in the G7 summit in Evian. And I want to tell you right at the start why this one handshake carries far more weight than the photograph in front of you suggests. Because if you see the positioning, you see the importance in the global arena of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India, and we should all feel extremely proud of that. If you see the official picture that is taken, and that itself is power play of a different kind, and I would like to show those pictures. When the official picture is taken in Evian, France, where the G7 meeting is happening, you see Donald Trump come out for the official photograph, and then he walks down the blue carpet, and then he has a conversation with Macron, and there you see the British Prime Minister, and eventually all the world leaders, they gather for the official photograph. And as they come out on the lawns for that official photograph, you shall see President Macron, the host, in the middle, with Narendra Modi to his left and Donald Trump to his right. Narendra Modi is on his left, Donald Trump is on his right, and that picture, ladies and gentlemen, tells the story of India's significance in the global arena. This is the most powerful set of global leaders.
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े।
चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
ऑक्टोरोमा मैनुअल वाइंडिंग 4 लोगों के पास है ये।
कुछ इससे भी अनोखा।
कमला पसंद, सिर्फ एक अनोखा स्वाद। कमला पसंद पान मसाला।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
आलू चाट या फ्रूट चाट।
स्वाद बनाए चमकी चाट।
क्या बात है? स्वादिष्ट पकोड़े और फरसान, अरे चमकी चाट है इसकी जान।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
Tonight there's an image that's going viral, and that is from the G7 summit happening in the French Alps. And what is that one image? It is the image of a long and warm conversation between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is the image. When Narendra Modi enters the room and Donald Trump stands up, shakes hands, and then they are talking hand in hand for a long time. This is happening in the G7 summit in Evian. And I want to tell you right at the start why this one handshake carries far more weight than the photograph in front of you suggests. Because if you see the positioning, you see the importance in the global arena of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India, and we should all feel extremely proud of that. If you see the official picture that is taken, and that itself is power play of a different kind, and I would like to show those pictures. When the official picture is taken in Evian, France, where the G7 meeting is happening, you see Donald Trump come out for the official photograph, and then he walks down the blue carpet, and then he has a conversation with Macron, and there you see the British Prime Minister, and eventually all the world leaders, they gather for the official photograph. And as they come out on the lawns for that official photograph, you shall see President Macron, the host, in the middle, with Narendra Modi to his left and Donald Trump to his right. Narendra Modi is on his left, Donald Trump is on his right, and that picture, ladies and gentlemen, tells the story of India's significance in the global arena. This is the most powerful set of global leaders who are meeting together, and India there is right there on top. And here is my message from that picture. It is a message to everyone who said, oh, India is wilting under American pressure. That picture tells the story of a country that has held its own and is respected globally. This meeting is happening at a time when the whole world knows how India has held its ground in geopolitics and global economics. We have not only held our ground, we have kept our strategic options open, and most importantly, this meeting is happening ahead of Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to India in September. And this is the first Modi-Trump handshake in 16 months. So when you see that picture of Prime Minister Narendra Modi talking there to Putin, Prime Minister Narendra Modi engaging directly with Donald Trump, viewers, remember India has 12 bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the G7. This is a very important meeting tomorrow. It is the first handshake between Modi and Trump in 16 months. It's been tense. These have been 16 months of negotiations, 16 months of pressure, but at the end of 16 months, a lot of respect that Donald Trump has there for Narendra Modi. This is the first handshake after India declined Trump's offer to mediate. It is the first handshake after all the pressure on tariffs. It is the first handshake, ladies and gentlemen, after everything, and we all know what happened in the last 15 to 16 months. It is the first handshake after Operation Sindoor. And I personally feel extremely proud of the way we've carried ourselves. And now we shall see a reimagination of Indian foreign policy. And if there's one thing which comes out clear is, after 16 months, after 18 months, or whatever happened in the world, we have come out looking so much stronger, feeling so much stronger. Tonight there's an image that's going viral, and that is from the G7 summit happening in the French Alps. And what is that one image? It is the image of a long and warm conversation between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is the image. When Narendra Modi enters the room and Donald Trump stands up, shakes hands, and then they are talking hand in hand for a long time. This is happening in the G7 summit in Evian. And I want to tell you right at the start why this one handshake carries far more weight than the photograph in front of you suggests. Because if you see the positioning, you see the importance in the global arena of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India, and we should all feel extremely proud of that. If you see the official picture that is taken, and that itself is power play of a different kind, and I would like to show those pictures. When the official picture is taken in Evian, France, where the G7 meeting is happening, you see Donald Trump come out for the official photograph, and then he walks down the blue carpet, and then he has a conversation with Macron, and there you see the British Prime Minister, and eventually all the world leaders, they gather for the official photograph. And as they come out on the lawns for that official photograph, you shall see President Macron, the host, in the middle, with Narendra Modi to his left and Donald Trump to his right. Narendra Modi is on his left, Donald Trump is on his right, and that picture, ladies and gentlemen, tells the story of India's significance in the global arena. This is the most powerful set of global leaders who are meeting together, and India there is right there on top. And here is my message from that picture. It is a message to everyone who said, oh, India is wilting under American pressure. That picture tells the story of a country that has held its own and is respected globally. This meeting is happening at a time when the whole world knows how India has held its ground in geopolitics and global economics. We have not only held our ground, we have kept our strategic options open, and most importantly, Prime Minister had done a brilliant job in pushing for India's interests. When he meets Trump after 16 months, Trump knows and respects power. He knows Narendra Modi is very powerful, India is very powerful, and that is why he listened intently when the Prime Minister told him that there are a lot of Indian seafarers in waters all across the world, and we must all work together to defend lives of the seafarers. The US President, who's known to be a tough negotiator himself, has gone out of his way to praise Narendra Modi as a negotiator. He loves the Indian people. And when you are decisive in your leadership, then even the President of the United States has to bow down to your leadership. What is clear to us is that America wants to be in India's corner.
Very warm welcome to Super Prime Time. I'm Rakshita Mishra with you this evening. Let's get you started with the top stories that we have been tracking for you, and then we're going to the deep dive. Uddhav Sena split confirmed. 6 out of the 9 MPs skipped the party meeting called by party high command, that is Uddhav Thackeray. He now sends a show-cause notice to them. After Mamata and Uddhav lose their party, speculations are rife that 25 to 26 MPs are ready to break away from Akhilesh's Samajwadi Party. The West Asia war ends. Trump signs peace deal with Iranian President Pezeshkian. Physically signs the deal in the Palace of Versailles in France. Iran and US agree to open Hormuz within 30 days. US to begin the removal of Hormuz naval blockade. Ukraine launches the largest drone attack on Moscow oil refinery, hit after Russia attacked Kiev. All right, viewers, now 6 of the 9 Sena, that is UBT, Lok Sabha members skipped a party meeting. That it was the parliamentary wing meeting. A day after, they signed a letter to form a separate grouping ahead of a planned merger with the Shiv Sena, that is Shinde Sena. The move offered more clarity after the confusion about actual number of rebels. They needed a minimum of 6 to form a separate group to avoid the disqualification under the anti-defection law. Now, the meeting that was called in by Uddhav Thackeray, it was held to determine how many Lok Sabha members are with UBT, Uddhav Thackeray, and whether he would avert a split. Now, Uddhav Thackeray, meanwhile, has acknowledged the split, and he warns the rebel MPs of strict action. Here's more.
After the split in Mamata's TMC, now UBT split is confirmed today. The split appeared imminent after 6 of the party's 9 MPs skipped a parliamentary party meeting, fueling speculations that they are preparing to join the ruling Shiv Sena led by Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde. The list of the Operation Tiger consisted of Sanjay Jadhav, Babu Saheb Vakchure, Om Rajay Nimbalkar, Sanjay Deena Patil, Sanjay Deshmukh, Nagesh Patil Astikar. Only 3 MPs were present at the meeting, which included Arvind Sawant, Anil Desai and Raj Bhav Wajay, Sanjay Raut. According to sources, these 6 MPs have formed a separate parliamentary faction and 2 of them have submitted a letter regarding this to Om Birla. Amid this political buzz, Republic also confronted senior MP and leader Anil Desai about unparliamentary language used by Sanjay Raut yesterday.
But even leaders like Sanjay Raut have addressed this issue. Some very unparliamentary words were used yesterday.
That was not.
But is this the time when Uddhav Thackeray and
slang words are used at every?
Are you justifying the kind of words that?
I'm not justifying. Had it been that specific personally attack or something, I would have said so. But it was not. It was just a slang word which was used. I mean, media did not take much of it.
Sir, but will UBT self-introspect because
we have taken your advice. I mean, long back.
Meanwhile, Uddhav Sena has acknowledged the absent MPs as rebel MPs. He also warned that action will be taken against these absent MPs for violating the party whip and a show cause notice will be issued to them. Meanwhile, spokesperson Kridna Hegde reacted to the whip.
उबाटा पार्टी ने जो whip जारी किया है उसका कोई महत्व नहीं है क्योंकि ये whip सिर्फ हाउस के अंदर का कामकाज के लिए है और वोटिंग में विप दी जा सकती है। जो पर्सनल मीटिंग किसी के घर पे हो रहा है उसके लिए कोई विप जारी नहीं कर सकता।
Sanjay Nirupam, Shiv Sena leader, further stated that it was already expected that 6 of Uddhav Thackre's MPs would not attend today's meeting.
आज जो संसदीय दल की बैठक बुलाई गई उबाठा की और जिसमें दावा किया गया कि हम विप इशू कर रहे हैं, मुझे बड़ा ये हास्यास्पद लग रहा है और मुझे थोड़ा सा ये बेवकूफ़ी भरा कदम भी दिख रहा है। मुझे उद्धव ठाकरे जी पे तरस आता है कि वो संजय राउत जैसे महाबेवकूफ इंसान पर भरोसा करके संसद के बाहर के मीटिंग के लिए विप इशू कर रहे हैं। विप का जो कानूनी आधार है वह संसद के सदन के अंदर की गतिविधियों के लिए, कोई बिल पास कराना हो या कोई बिल के खिलाफ वोट देना हो या वोटिंग से जुड़ा हुआ विषय, लेकिन संसद के बाहर की गतिविधियों के लिए एमपीज के ऊपर आप विप इशू कर ही नहीं सकते।
According to sources, the absent 6 Shiv Sena MPs spoke with Eknath Shinde via conference call late last night, where a detailed 30-minute discussion took place. During the call, Shinde assured them that Operation Tiger has been successfully executed and that he would stand firmly behind all the Shiv Sena MPs. Meanwhile, Republic accessed exclusive details where the Uddhav rebels have expected to arrive in Mumbai tonight as 6 hotel rooms have been booked in Goregaon. Sources stated that the date for the formal induction of these 6 Thackeray faction MPs into the Shiv Sena is set to be finalized on the 21st. Also, in a new development, there has been a major upgrade in security of the 6 rebels. The political crisis in Uddhav Thackre's camp has deepened significantly as the rebel MPs move closer to a formal merger with Eknath Shinde-led Shiv Sena. Questions over the future of Uddhav's parliamentary strength continue to grow.
And after the split within the Trinamool Congress, and now as we are talking about the Uddhav Sena, the UBT, Uttar Pradesh now could be witnessing something similar. Samajwadi Party is in the news. UP State Minister Om Prakash Rajbhar claims that several SP leaders are in touch with the BJP, a fact which is backed up by his son Arun Rajbhar as well, as the UP State Minister Sanjay Nishad also puts it on record. Now, Samajwadi Party insists that there is no question of any split, that it's just a conspiracy. Here's more.
मैडम क्या बातचीत हुई आप लोगों की? What the talks positive? How many MPs?
After the TMC and the Shiv Sena split, speculations are growing that the Samajwadi Party could be headed for a split as well.
राम गोपाल जी बता सकते हैं कितने नाम उसमें हैं, कौन-कौन लोग हैं?
UP State Minister OP Rajbhar has said that several MPs and MLAs from Samajwadi Party are in touch with the BJP and are looking to align themselves with the union government.
राम गोपाल जी ने केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री अमित शाह जी को चिट्ठी दी है ना?
वो आप बताइए।
नहीं दिया है। अच्छा। और दोनों हंसते हुए दो दिशा की तरफ चले गए, वो भी हाथ जोड़े, वो भी कि ठीक है जाइए काम हो जाएगा।
अच्छा। किसका नाम गया है उसमें? कुछ तो पता ही, आप तो खुलकर बोलने के लिए जाने गए थे।
राम गोपाल जी बता सकते हैं कितने नाम उसमें हैं, कौन कौन लोग हैं, वो राम गोपाल जी बता सकते हैं। और मुझे जो जानकारी है कि समाजवादी पार्टी में बड़ी टूट होने जा रही है। अब ये लोग भारतीय जनता पार्टी ज्वाइन करने जा रहे हैं।
मतलब बंगाल और महाराष्ट्र के जैसे यहाँ भी होने वाला?
100%, उससे भी बुरा हाल हो जाता।
He also went on to accuse Akhilesh Yadav of squandering the money from the Gomti River project as well as mining projects, saying that he has all the files with him and that the truth won't be hidden for long. Adding to Rajbhar's statements, UP State Minister Sanjay Nishad has alleged that more than 24 leaders from the Samajwadi Party are in contact with his party and they wish to join.
देखो, उनके परिवार को और हिंदुत्व विचारधारा के जो विरोधी हैं उनको छोड़कर जितने भी हिंदुत्ववादी विचारधारा के सांसद हैं वो सारे लोग उनके लोग संपर्क में हैं। इसलिए संपर्क में हैं कि कोई भी नेता, कोई भी राजनीतिक व्यक्ति जब विधायक हो, MP MLA हो या किसी क्षेत्र में राजनीति करता, वो समाज को संवैधानिक सुरक्षा, सम्मान, समृद्धि, स्वावलंबन, सुख दुख में खड़ा होकर उसकी राजनीतिक सेवा करना चाहता। क्योंकि विपक्ष की सरकार है नहीं, नरेटिव सेट होकर एक बार संविधान खतरे में है, आरक्षण जीत गए बेचारे किसी तरीके। अब अगला चुनाव तो उनके चाहे विधायक हो चाहे MP हो, अगला चुनाव तो फिर सेवा करना। अब जनता की सेवा कर नहीं पा रहे हैं, तभी हो पाएगा सेवा जब सरकार के साथ रहेंगे ना। सुरक्षा तभी दिला पाएंगे, समानता, समृद्धि सब दिला, तो सभी सांसद चाहते हैं।
Adding to the speculation, SBSP spokesperson Arun Rajbhar claimed that a letter linked to the controversy contains explosive details. He also argued that leaders never announced defections in advance.
देखिए, माननीय ओम प्रकाश राजभर जी की एक प्रतिक्रिया पर पूरी सैफई खानदान गाली देने पर उतर आया। इसी से अंदाज़ा लगाया जा सकता है कि ये जो बात कही गई है, इस बात का जवाब देने की बजाय ये इधर उधर की बातें कर रहे हैं। हम साफ बातें कर रहे हैं। अगर ये बातें गलत हैं तो उस चिट्ठी को सामने कर दें कि जो मैंने अपना कलम उठा करके अपने कलम से लिखा है और जो माननीय अमित शाह जी को मैंने थमाया है और थमा करके मुस्कुराते हुए अपने आप जान को बचाने का जो गुहार लगाया है, उस चीज़ से हम ये बातों का खंडन करते हैं कि मैंने ऐसी नहीं कहा। जिस दिन चिट्ठी आ जाएगी, चेहरा दिखाने लायक नहीं बचेंगे सब।
The Samajwadi Party, however, has launched a counter-offensive with SP leader Akhilesh Yadav accusing the BJP of engineering rumors.
आपको SIT का मेंबर बनाया जाएगा।
अध्यक्ष जी ओम प्रकाश राजभर चिंतित हो गए।
भाई आप मुझे सुनिए, आप
और कहा कि समाजवादी पार्टी के कई लोग BJP ज्वाइन करने के लिए तैयार है और आप चिंतित हो गए हैं। कई चीजें उसमें पूरा ये लिखा कि उनकी चिट्ठी सौंपी, घोटाले का भी जिक्र किया, क्या है?
दाना और गाना कब तक चलेगा ये अफसाना? दाना और गाना कब तक चलेगा ऐसा अफसाना, नहीं समझ पाए।
Senior SP leader Shivpal Yadav has gone a step further, claiming that the BJP is attempting to poach opposition MPs while dismissing Rajbhar's claims as politically motivated.
देखिए, ये झूठे लोग हैं, इनकी बात का कोई ठिकाना नहीं, कब क्या बोलें। और जब चुनाव आते हैं तो ये लोग बार्गेनिंग करते हैं, तो इसलिए बार्गेनिंग करते हैं कि ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सीटें मिलें, और ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा सीटें मिलें तो उसमें से फिर पैसे कमाएं। और अगर समाजवादी पार्टी में ये नहीं होते तो विधानसभा का मुंह नहीं देख पाते। उस समय बार्गेनिंग करके 70 सीटें ले गए हैं, तो ये बार्गेनिंग करते हैं।
The controversy intensified after speculations centered around Balia MP Sanatan Pandey. But Pandey has denied any possibility of switching sides, asserting that his commitment to the Samajwadi Party remains unbroken.
अब तो हमारे समय दुनिया कोई सी ताकत नहीं है, न भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पास उतना रुपया है और न भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पास फिर देश का संसाधन हो, न उसकी कोई इच्छा है सनातन पार्टी को तोड़ने की ताकत न भारतीय जनता पार्टी के अंदर है, न उनके घटक दलों के अंदर है, न इस दुनिया में किसी के पास है।
Trouble seems to be brewing for Samajwadi Party, with BJP allies predicting defections, while the SP leadership firmly rejects the claims. It will only be clear in the coming days whether the Samajwadi Party remains intact or is Akhilesh Yadav going to face one of the biggest setbacks of his political career.
And we was on to the much-awaited deal. The presidents of the US and Iran signed the initial peace accord, the 14-point peace accord. And first there was a digital sign, and then we saw in the Palace of Versailles in France, Trump signing that deal. The hard copy was being signed, and of course the symbolism is fully loaded with symbolism, because that's where the First World War treaty was in fact signed, and just 10 days ahead of that anniversary. Well, that has another history, but let me just talk about, viewers, in details about what has been the loss, because this is being known or touted as the Great American Surrender. Not just the Democrats, but also the conservative allies. Many from the Republican Party also are criticizing Donald Trump for this. So it's an advantage for Iran. There's no immediate curb on their nuclear program. Only talks have been thought of or been planned over the next 1 month or so. What have US got? Well, limits on Iran's nuclear program. So that's something which is not in very, very concrete terms. If you talk about Hormuz, well, Hormuz is reopening. Iran's role in future management is also reaffirmed in this way. Meanwhile, for US, this is just the protection of global trade routes. That's important. That's what Trump is right now harping on. You have the $300 billion. That's one of the biggest headlines. The $300 billion reparations, viewers, the economic support for the damage that has been done, which we see for Donald Trump. That is going to be a big amount. This is the cost. But yes, the expenditure for the military is being saved because of this long-drawn conflict. Now, talking about Iran, billions in the frozen funds will be released. The sanctions are also going to be lifted. Meanwhile, so you can see that the U.S. advantages are much lesser. Talk about Iran, the sanctions on oil and the banking and the banking sanctions, the trade sanctions will be lifted. So it's more of a situation. It's more of a tilt towards Iran. If you see the fine print, the oil exports and revenue flows will also be resuming. So Iran gets to, in fact, restore the aid that they have demanded reparations. And in fact, viewers, we will be now putting forth this report for you to help understand what really transpired in the past 24 hours and how both the countries, both the sides came together to seal the deal.
The United States and Iran have reportedly signed a memorandum of understanding aimed at ending the conflict between the two nations and launching a new phase of negotiations. According to sources familiar with the process, US President Donald Trump and Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian signed the agreement digitally ahead of the previously expected signing ceremony in Switzerland. Iranian media reports indicate that the finalized text was sent directly to both the presidents for approval, with officials agreeing that the memorandum would be signed remotely. The agreement is said to have entered into force immediately after both signatures were completed, shifting attention from military developments to implementation of the accord.
Mr. President, please, just one question for French TV and the Arab deal. Just one question, please.
You signed the deal?
You signed the
MOU? It's signed, yeah. It's signed? You signed it?
Co-powered by Crystal Crop Protection, देश का किसान, देश का हीरो।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
QSMT achieved. The world's foremost university rankings organizations have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
ठंडक लाए सबको भाई जीरा से MTH का जलजीरा जीरा से
जीरा सिर्फ असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MTH
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच, लस्सी और छाछ।
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट। अब बताओ, स्वाद आया? आया।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
Tonight there's an image that's going viral, and that is from the G7 summit happening in the French Alps. And what is that one image? It is the image of a long and warm conversation between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is the image. When Narendra Modi enters the room and Donald Trump stands up, shakes hands, and then they are talking hand in hand for a long time. This is happening in the G7 summit in Evian. And I want to tell you right at the start why this one handshake carries far more weight than the photograph in front of you suggests. Because if you see the positioning, you see the importance in the global arena of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India, and we should all feel extremely proud of that. If you see the official picture that is taken, and that itself is power play of a different kind, and I would like to show those pictures. When the official picture is taken in Evian, France, where the G7 meeting is happening, you see Donald Trump come out for the official photograph, and then he walks down the blue carpet, and then he has a conversation with Macron, and there you see the British Prime Minister, and eventually all the world leaders, they gather for the official photograph. And as they come out on the lawns for that official photograph, you shall see President Macron, the host, in the middle, with Narendra Modi to his left and Donald Trump to his right. Narendra Modi is on his left, Donald Trump is on his right, and that picture, ladies and gentlemen, tells the story of India's significance in the global arena. This is the most powerful set of global leaders who are meeting together, and India there is right there on top. And here is my message from that picture. It is a message to everyone who said, oh, India is wilting under American pressure. That picture tells the story of a country that has held its own and is respected globally. This meeting is happening at a time when the whole world knows how India has held its ground in geopolitics and global economics. We have not only held our ground, we have kept our strategic options open, and most importantly, this meeting is happening ahead of Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to India in September. And this is the first Modi-Trump handshake in 16 months. So when you see that picture of Prime Minister Narendra Modi talking there to Putin, Prime Minister Narendra Modi engaging directly with Donald Trump, viewers, remember India has 12 bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the G7. This is a very important meeting tomorrow. It is the first handshake between Modi and Trump in 16 months. It's been tense. These have been 16 months of negotiations, 16 months of pressure, but at the end of 16 months, a lot of respect that Donald Trump has there for Narendra Modi. This is the first handshake after India declined Trump's offer to mediate. It is the first handshake after all the pressure on tariffs. It is the first handshake, ladies and gentlemen, after everything, and we all know what happened in the last 15 to 16 months. It is the first handshake after Operation Sindoor. And I personally feel extremely proud of the way we've carried ourselves. And now we shall see a reimagination of Indian foreign policy. And if there's one thing which comes out clear is, after 16 months, after 18 months, or whatever happened in the world, we have come out looking so much stronger, feeling so much stronger. Tonight there's an image that's going viral, and that is from the G7 summit happening in the French Alps. And what is that one image? It is the image of a long and warm conversation between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is the image. When Narendra Modi enters the room and Donald Trump stands up, shakes hands, and then they are talking hand in hand for a long time. This is happening in the G7 summit in Evian. And I want to tell you right at the start why this one handshake carries far more weight than the photograph in front of you suggests. Because if you see the positioning, you see the importance in the global arena of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India, and we should all feel extremely proud of that. If you see the official picture that is taken, and that itself is power play of a different kind,
Co-powered by Crystal Crop Protection, देश का किसान, देश का हीरो।
प्यास बुझाए, ठंडक लाए, सबको भाए जीरा से। MTH का जल जीरा, जीरा से।
जीरा से असली रिफ्रेशिंग, असली स्वाद, असली मजा।
MTH।
जब तक लाजवाब न बन जाए, उसे नहीं इत्मीनान है। तभी तो रिचमंड बनना नहीं आसान है।
चमकी चाट से क्या बना है?
सैंडविच लस्सी और छाछ
हर घूंट में चमकी चाट, ड्राई फ्रूट और दही बड़े। चमकी चाट से स्वाद बढ़े।
असली स्वाद सिर्फ चमकी चाट।
Tonight there's an image that's going viral, and that is from the G7 summit happening in the French Alps. And what is that one image? It is the image of a long and warm conversation between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is the image. When Narendra Modi enters the room and Donald Trump stands up, shakes hands, and then they are talking hand in hand for a long time. This is happening in the G7 summit in Evian. And I want to tell you right at the start why this one handshake carries far more weight than the photograph in front of you suggests. Because if you see the positioning, you see the importance in the global arena of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India, and we should all feel extremely proud of that. If you see the official picture that is taken, and that itself is power play of a different kind, and I would like to show those pictures. When the official picture is taken in Evian, France, where the G7 meeting is happening, you see Donald Trump come out for the official photograph, and then he walks down the blue carpet, and then he has a conversation with Macron, and there you see the British Prime Minister, and eventually all the world leaders, they gather for the official photograph. And as they come out on the lawns for that official photograph, you shall see President Macron, the host, in the middle, with Narendra Modi to his left and Donald Trump to his right. Narendra Modi is on his left, Donald Trump is on his right, and that picture, ladies and gentlemen, tells the story of India's significance in the global arena. This is the most powerful set of global leaders who are meeting together, and India there is right there on top. And here is my message from that picture. It is a message to everyone who said, oh, India is wilting under American pressure. That picture tells the story of a country that has held its own and is respected globally. This meeting is happening at a time when the whole world knows how India has held its ground in geopolitics and global economics. We have not only held our ground, we have kept our strategic options open, and most importantly, this meeting is happening ahead of Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to India in September. And this is the first Modi-Trump handshake in 16 months. So when you see that picture of Prime Minister Narendra Modi talking there to Putin, Prime Minister Narendra Modi engaging directly with Donald Trump, viewers, remember India has 12 bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the G7. This is a very important meeting tomorrow. It is the first handshake between Modi and Trump in 16 months. It's been tense. These have been 16 months of negotiations, 16 months of pressure, but at the end of 16 months, a lot of respect that Donald Trump has there for Narendra Modi. This is the first handshake after India declined Trump's offer to mediate. It is the first handshake after all the pressure on tariffs. It is the first handshake, ladies and gentlemen,
India's future is bright. We will be stronger, prosperous, more spiritual and happy society, which would showcase a model to the whole world.
मुझे खुशी है कि अर्नब बढ़िया हिंदी बोलने लगे हैं।
as a tourist, but I've lived in different parts of the world. जब वक्त आया decide करने का कि कहाँ पर अपना बसेरा होना चाहिए, for me there was absolutely no doubt कि मुझे जिस तरह का यहाँ पे प्यार मिला और अपनापन महसूस हुआ, तो it had to be India.
future is bright. We will be stronger, prosperous, more spiritual and happy society, which would showcase a model to the whole world.
फॉर्चुनेट आई एम, हाउ काइंड इज गॉड। मैं कहता हूँ इंसान की औकात नहीं होती, ये देता है जब तो हम क्रेडिट लेते थे कि हमने किया, हमने मेहनत की, हमने रियाज किया, हमने किया। लेकिन रियाज भी इंसान तब कर पाता जब सद्बुद्धि आती है। सद्बुद्धि भी ईश्वर देता है।
आजादी का आंदोलन एक सशक्त, समृद्ध, सुरक्षित, शिक्षित और विश्व गुरु के स्थान पर बैठे हुए भारत की रचना के लिए लड़ा गया था और उसी लक्ष्य के लिए हम राजनीति में हैं। ये फुल स्टॉप नहीं है, ये शुरुआत है। अच्छा समय आने वाला है।
बड़े लक्ष्य की तरफ ईमानदारी से प्रयास करेंगे तो उसे प्राप्त भी करेंगे।
नई सफलताओं के द्वार तभी खुलते हैं जब जीवन में चुनौतियों को स्वीकार किया जाता है। अर्नब ने चुनौती स्वीकार की और इसलिए आज रिपब्लिक टीवी जैसा नेटवर्क स्थापित कर पाए।
ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन की ये यात्रा जितनी समकालीन है उतनी ही फ्यूचरिस्टिक भी है। हम आने वाले अनेक दशकों की तैयारी आज कर रहे हैं। रिपब्लिक टीवी का सवालों के साथ बहुत पुराना रिश्ता रहा है। नेशन वांट्स टू नो, और ये कहते कहते आप लोग अच्छों के पसीने छुड़ा दिए हैं। पूरी दुनिया कह रही है कि ये भारत की सदी है। वो भारत दुनिया की ग्रोथ को ड्राइव कर रहा है।
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Arnab Goswami on the debate.
So tonight, the useless, corrupt, incompetent loser in Indian politics, Uddhav Thackeray, loses everything. At At 9 o'clock tonight, the Divide Hindus plot, Republic shares with you a comment that has been made by the spokesperson of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board that will shock you and make you wake up. Who's the biggest loser in Indian politics? Uddhav Thackeray. Who's the most incompetent politician ever in a race between Uddhav Thackeray and Rahul Gandhi? Maybe even here Rahul Gandhi would perhaps be second. The biggest loser, the most incompetent person, the most corrupt, a man who ran a party that ran a government that did extortion, a terrible person, a horrible human being. Ladies and gentlemen, more than someone who destroyed his father's own legacy and is today left with nothing. A political non-entity. That is what Uddhav Thackeray is. Tonight the wheel has turned. This loser has lost everything. Tonight a man who broke a party finds his own party breaking up. Tonight the sins of Uddhav Thackeray have walked right back through his door and they have come to collect. Tonight I want to tell you the many sins of Uddhav Thackeray. Because what is happening today is not politics. This is reckoning. Judgment day has arrived at Matoshri. And the dues are being collected one by one by one. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. I used to go to Matoshri when I was the editor of a channel based in Mumbai. I've done many interviews with Balasaheb Thackeray. I used to see Uddhav walk around. And I want to share with you that Balasaheb Thackeray, in his presence, Uddhav didn't say anything. Not because he couldn't say anything, but because he realized, and Balasaheb Thackeray also probably realized, he wasn't a patch on the legacy that he got. And the worst thing is, ladies and gentlemen, this man has chosen to turn the Shiv Sena into a pro-Muslim party. Now, there's nothing wrong with choosing to be pro-Muslim. But if you turn the party that Balasaheb Thackeray started into a version of the All India Majlis-e-Ittihadul Muslimin, then you've destroyed your father's legacy. You've destroyed Balasaheb Thackeray's legacy. This man, when Republic was fighting in the case of the lynching of the sadhus in Palghar, ran absolutely quiet. And when I questioned why Sonia Gandhi, his then boss, Antonia the Maino, as we better know her, remained quiet over it, asked his police to interrogate me. What a loser, what a coward, what a cheap man, what a weak man. I once said that if somebody opened a bottle of soda in a room, Uddhav Thackeray would be so scared he would run away. And let me tell you something, it wasn't an exaggeration. I was right and I am right because Uddhav Thackeray is simply a coward. And he's proven repeatedly what kind of a coward he is. He went all out to try and block an investigation into the Sushant Singh Rajput case. I still haven't understood why. He got nervous every time someone talked about Aditya Thackeray in the connection of the Disha Salian case. I don't know why. Maybe he knows why. I'm sure he knows why. But he got so nervous in the case of Disha Salian and Sushant Singh Rajput. And Disha Salian and Sushant Singh Rajput, he was so scared that we're going to expose him, which we did, that he went all out to stop everyone and anyone. At one point of time, he went completely mad. And in that process of madness, ladies and gentlemen, he backed a murderer, Sachin Vaze, along with his corrupt, murderous boss, the commissioner, Parambir Singh, a blot on the uniform, the biggest blot in the uniform. Parambir Singh and Sachin Vaze. He supported this murderer, Sachin Vaze. He supported him in the assembly and he said, there's an attempt being made to project him as wrong. So you are known by the company you keep. And Uddhav's company was Parambir Singh and Sachin Vaze. And they promised to do a hit job on Republic. They got promoted. But you know what? Parambir has egg on his face and he's hiding from me. And he knows this. He's hiding. He's literally on the run. He sees a Republic mic and he runs away. And Sachin Vaze is rotting away in jail and he's going to rot for the rest of his life in jail. And I actually suspect the role of many people in the Antilia case. Many people. I'm not going to take names tonight. But I suspect the role of many people in this Antilia case. And one day there should be a narco analysis done on Parambir and Sachin Vaze, and then we'll know the names of all the people involved in the Antilia case. And let me tell you this, I have a long memory, and the people watching this should know that one day we will find out the truth in the Antilia case and everybody's role as well. Yes, we will. But this horrible man, this weak man, this coward Uddhav Thackeray, even arrested Member of Parliament Navneet Rana for chanting Hanuman Chalisa outside Matoshri. And there he is with a tissue trying to wipe his tears, thinking anyone will have sympathy for him. Who will have sympathy for a loser, ladies and gentlemen? And a loser who only promotes one person, and Aditya Thackeray. And I'm the only one who's going to say this. People don't take Rashmi Thackeray's name. It is just said and believed that she and her son play an undue role in the decision-making in the Uddhav Sena, because it's not the Shiv Sena. And that is why he's humiliated everybody else. Everybody else. Anybody who's a mass leader has been thrown out to promote another terrible fellow. His name is Aditya Thackeray. No real achievement, nothing. But he promoted his own son, humiliated the party cadre. This is the ledger. And in the ledger, there are 9 entries, 9 sins and 9 dues. And now, Uddhav Ji, Uddhav Ji, Uddhav Ji. And I'm repeatedly saying this. The debt collector has arrived. And when the debt collector arrives, the debt collector, Uddhav Ji, is very brutal. All his party MPs have gone. 3 are left behind, including that useless fellow called Sanjay Raut, who uses filthy language. Generally, his demeanor is cheap, unbecoming of a civilized person. And he's one of the 3 MPs left with Uddhav, which means Uddhav has lost 67% of his MPs. But Uddhav, let me tell you this, watch what happens next. Uddhav and Aditya, a 3rd wound is here, and it has a name, ladies and gentlemen. You see, the tiger was Balasaheb's symbol, drawn by his own hand. And tonight that tiger has turned on the sun. 6 out of the 9 MPs are going to Eknath Shinde's real Shiv Sena. So 6 out of 9 are gone. Remember, that is exactly 2/3. The exact figure of the law of defection demands that 2/3 break away, not 5, not 4, not 7, but 6. And that's the arithmetic of Uddhav Thackeray's collapse. And Uddhav Ji, I remind you today, I said this so many times, you're going to lose everything bit by bit. Everything is going to be finished for you. Everything is going to be finished. Not because I wished you ill luck, because you sent 200 policemen to my house like a coward that you were and you are, but because you're bad for society. You're bad for Maharashtra. You're bad for the country. You're not a leader. You never deserve to be a leader. 6 MPs gone. I won't read out their names. 15 of 20 MLAs all gone. The torch has been snuffed out one by one. So the real question is this: why does the floor keep disappearing under Uddhav Thackeray's feet? I'll tell you why. Because every desertion that Uddhav is facing today is a debt that he has run up himself. This is the bill for a decade of sins. And the bill has come, and there are 9 sins that he's going to have to pay for. Uddhav kept telling people, I'm actually a photographer. I'm not a politician. You are neither, Uddhav. You're a fraud. You're a loser. You're incompetent. You're good for nothing. You are good for nothing in politics. You're good for nothing in governance. And that's why, remember, Uddhav, you have not lost everything to the BJP. You've lost everything because of yourself, because of the kind of person that you are. This is your judgment day. Now you can go crying as much as you want to. The tiger is no longer yours. And we're going to debate this tonight. And I'm not going to run a package at this point of time. I'm going to go straight to Milind Deora. Ladies and gentlemen, Milind Deora is a member of parliament of the Shiv Sena, not the Uddhav Sena, of the Shiv Sena. And is with Eknath Shinde. Mind you, he was never with Uddhav. Right? He left the Congress and he went to Eknath Shinde. He's a member of parliament. And it's great to see you, Milind. Are you playing a role
Thank you. Thank you, Arnab, for having me.
It's my pleasure. Are you playing a role in all of this, or is this just happening organically to Uddhav?
Arnab, one would love to take credit, but the truth is that there are certain personalities, certain political parties, and I think if we really zoom out, I say this as an Indian first and not as somebody who's working with Eknath Shindeji. As an Indian, I'm concerned about the health, the state, the destructive nature of India's opposition. And I'm genuinely concerned. I would genuinely want India to have a strong, effective, constructive opposition. But I think what's happening in Uddhav Thackeray's party is symptomatic of a larger malaise that plagues many opposition parties. In that, and actually there's only one opposition party that one can say is truly democratic, and that's the communists and the left parties. Otherwise, a party like UBT has now been reduced to a monarchy. And it's odd, and it's absolutely hypocritical that parties that have no democracy within themselves, parties that have reserved the top slot for a member of their family, regardless of that person's inability. Yes, dynastic politics exists around the world. In the US, you have the Kennedys, you have the Bushes. I too am a product of somebody who's been in politics before me. But at some point, there has to be a question asked whether a person is capable or incapable to lead. And if that individual is capable and incapable to lead, but yet that person is thrust upon that party, upon the cadre of that party, upon the elected legislators of that party, upon the people of that constituency, that state, the country, then you are bound to have a rebellion and revolution. So to answer your question, this is something that is happening purely because of inability to lead, because of inaccessibility. And that's exactly why you're seeing 6 out of 9 MPs, maybe more, rebelling against their party.
Yeah, this is going to be a reflective conversation on the sins of Uddhav. On a personal note, I can say this, viewers, as I'm listening to Milind tonight, Milind is a smart politician. Yes, he's also the son of Murli Deora. But he's done something on his own. He knows technology. He's been a minister. People questioned it when he first became a minister, saying, is it because of nepotism? But he did a great job. He fought Lok Sabha elections, and he's worked ground up. I'm not going to mention the name of any stupid coward or any stupid idiot. I'm not going to call them coward idiots tonight on my program, but I often thought that whoever is the person, Milind, who sent 200 people with AK-47s pointed at my family, I just wanted to say that they are stupid, they are cowards, they are idiots, they're malicious, and I have a long memory, and the people have a long memory. And now let's get back talking to what's happening in Matoshri. I said I used to go to Matoshri. I did many interviews with Bala Sahib Thackeray, and very interesting person, great guy. What is happening there is a blemish on Bala Sahib, is it not? What is happening now with this sort of cabinet being run by Rashmi Thackeray and Aditya Thackeray, isn't it a blemish on the way in which things ran? Also ideologically, isn't it completely opposite to what Bala Sahib Thackeray stood for?
So Arnab, like you, I had an excellent family relationship with the late Bala Sahib Thackeray. My late father was extremely close to him. In fact, in Marathi, he would often call my father in public meetings that Murli Bhai is Maharashtra se Zawai, means Murli Bhai is a son-in-law of Maharashtra because my mother is Maharashtrian. And it was when, despite the fact that my father was in the Congress party in 1976, it was with Bala Sahib's support that my father became mayor of Mumbai. So Bala Sahib was, of course, a great man. Nobody can duplicate what he had done. There are many things I can see that went wrong. You have a personal experience. There are many like you who do. But I remember when Shiv Sena aligned with the Congress party in 2019. And at that point, when I was in the Congress party, I warned the Congress party that this will destroy the party. And Shiv Sena is on a, kamikaze mode. They want to destroy themselves. They're working like suicide bombers did during World War II. And Congress should not do that. And my former party chose to ignore my advice. And you saw what happened in the assembly elections after that. Congress today, being one of the largest parties in Maharashtra, is today the fourth or fifth party in the state. No leadership, very little scope of reviving itself. So what Shiv Sena did, and I think what we're seeing at a cadre level, at an MLA level, at an elected representative level, at an MP level, mind you, a member of parliament, Arnab, who gets elected by crores of people from his or her constituency. I've been a Lok Sabha MP, as you mentioned. Today, if a Lok Sabha MP from the UBT party, a man like Sanjay Raut, who's never fought an election in his life, he's been in the Rajya Sabha throughout his entire political career, if he is abusing his own party MPs and he's first hurling accusations of corruption against them, the next day he's saying they're great people, they're with us. The day after, he's using words which, forgive me, but I don't wish to use on your channel on national TV in front of the entire country. Extremely unparliamentary, extremely vulgar. After that, he's saying again, they're in touch with us, they're good people, we're talking to them. What it shows is that the party, its leadership, that there is a very serious mental problem, and that the party has, to put it very kindly and mildly, has lost its mental balance. So which MP, which karyakarta, which volunteer would want to be with a party like that? And again, if you compare it for a hardcore Sainik who's worked with the Shiv Sena, understands the culture, when they look at a man like Eknath Shinde, who's come from nothing, a man who came from absolute poverty, was driving an auto rickshaw and rose to become chief minister of the second largest state in the world's largest democracy, and who is accessible, who meets people, who addresses their problems, addresses their grievances, those of elected representatives, those of karyakartas, those of the public directly. Sometimes he doesn't even work through the MPs or MLAs. He goes directly to the people and addresses their problems and asks elected representatives to follow up. The comparison is so stark. And that's why in my earlier remarks, I mentioned that there is a serious problem in our politics today, where you're seeing, I think that the fight is not between secularism, right-wing, left-wing. It's really between first-gen and second-gen or fifth-gen politicians are now. And this is a very unique problem. You don't see this, for example, in Europe. You won't see this in the world's oldest democracy in the United States. In India today, almost every opposition party is run by a second-gen, third-gen, fourth-gen, fifth-gen. I'm not saying that they should be debarred from that. Some people are capable, some people are efficient. But when you thrust leaders who are repeatedly failing and unable to inspire confidence in their own party, leave aside the public, you're bound to have this kind of a revolt. So, contrary to what a Sanjay Raut will say, or contrary to what somebody in the opposition will say, nobody is doing this, nobody is initiating this, nobody is handling this. This is happening very organically. It's happening within that party. People on their own are coming to parties like ours and saying, we want to work with the right kind of leadership led by Mr. Eknath Shinde. And let's see what will happen in the days and the weeks ahead. But it's as I said, I again zoom out. There has to be, as people demand accountability from the government, people must demand accountability from the opposition as well. You cannot have undemocratic, monarchical parties claiming to be parties and leaders that will strengthen democracy in India. First, become democratic within, and then go to the public and try to convince them that you will strengthen India's democracy.
Uddhav's excuse always was that I'm not meant for politics. And I always say this, viewers, if you're not meant for something, just get out. Don't burden the people. Yeah. If you keep saying, I'm not meant for politics, who the hell is asking you to be there? It's like Rahul Gandhi and Uddhav, so similar. I'm not meant for politics. Who the hell told you to be there? Get the hell out of there. And don't. It's
a very good point.
Don't get sensitive if someone.
I mean, Arnab, my late father was in politics. I have an elder brother.
Yes, he's not in politics.
He has absolutely no interest in politics.
Yeah, exactly.
He contributes to society in whichever way he can. But he said, I do not like politics. I don't think I'm cut out for it. And he stepped out of the way. I feel I'm better suited for politics. I'm able to perform well in politics, and that's why I'm in this profession.
Yep.
That's why a party chose to send me to the Rajya Sabha. But you're 100% right. It's when you keep thrusting people upon the public, upon parties, that's when you have a revolt.
And then what happens is you promote your son whose singular contribution to social life has been to try and import penguins. And he was trying to import penguins into the Baikala Zoo. And then you have to be mad and crazy. You're not only importing penguins, you're providing an artificial climate. You now want to create an icy climate so you can spend taxpayer money to import penguins. And then Uddhav gets all touchy if someone calls him baby penguin. By the way, Uddhav had started doing this. Viewers, I'm sorry, this is a little bit back and forth. My friend Milind is a very sort of diplomatic person. I'm not. So he will not talk about these things. But we remember when the Mumbai police, very bad, you were with the Congress then, very bad. The Mumbai police, which was part of the government, you were with at that time, Milind, not embarrassing you, started arresting social media users who used the moniker baby penguin, saying that, and Aditya must have gone complaining to his daddy, saying, Daddy, they're calling me baby penguin. There's no proof that they were calling him baby penguin. But I suspect Aditya went complaining, saying they're calling me baby penguin. Otherwise, why would
Arnab, let me just say something, if you don't mind.
Why would the Mumbai police arrest people using the phrase baby penguin?
What hasn't been said about Eknath Shinde when he rebelled? Everything was said under the sun. What did Uddhav Thackeray say about him? Did he once use his power as a chief minister to harass somebody in the media? Did he once use his power as chief minister of Maharashtra to harass a social media influencer?
No, but why did Uddhav start arresting people who made a reference to baby penguin?
Because if you are an insecure leader, you are in a profession that you hate, as you mentioned, and you are repeatedly thrusting yourself and you have unresolved conflict, you will do these things. I'll say something going beyond an individual issue. The Shiv Sena, erstwhile Shiv Sena led by Uddhav Thackeray, had, I would say, a godsend opportunity in the city that you and I live, in the city of Mumbai. They were running the municipality of Mumbai, which is the largest, richest municipality in the country, for 30 long years. They had every ability to transform this city. The Mumbai municipal budget, Arnab, in case your viewers may not be aware, is larger than the budgets of 5 or 6 state governments in our country. All that was happening was corruption. You saw potholes after potholes. We're approaching a monsoon season now. Let me be honest, and I would ask you, Arnab, as a journalist, please come and look at the state of Mumbai's roads. I'm not saying they're perfect. I'm not saying we deserve credit. I think there's a lot more scope to improve. If a contractor is found guilty, by all means, punish them, have a case against them, blacklist them, send them to jail. If there's a political bureaucrat nexus with that contractor, by all means, send them to jail. I'm all for it. I have nothing to hide. But the amount of debates that would happen year after year on channels which I would participate in about the state of roads in our city, where thousands and thousands of crores of taxpayer money would be spent on repairing those roads. Where was that money going? That money was just going, it was corruption.
But what this paternal blind spot, for someone who has no worthy academic or professional background. And you see, Bala Saheb ruled from behind the scenes. So Uddhav broke that rule. And then he triple promoted Aditya, gave him a constituency, gave him a cabinet berth. He knew Aditya was untested, and he made him a face of the party. He fast-tracked him. Had that not happened, this would have never happened, right? I mean, had that not happened, had that not happened. Had we had a situation where Eknath Shinde would have been given charge for running the party operations, this would not have happened.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. I think that if the party had, in its wisdom at the time, said that the family members are incapable of carrying forward Bala Saheb's legacy, and this is true of any family-run political party, let's give it to somebody who is hungry, who is on the ground, who has credibility in public, who speaks well, who can perform well, who has experience. Of course, things would have been very different. But they chose not to do that. And therefore, they chose not to do that, and therefore you're seeing what you're seeing, which is the rebellion. So these are all manifestations of a larger malaise. In fact, I remember in Worli, where Aditya is an MLA, and I contested the elections in the assembly elections, lost by a small, in fact, we were leading against him in a few rounds. Massive anti-incumbency. The party had everything in its favor. He was an MLA. There were two MLCs, two Sena former MLAs of Worli who were made MLCs, members of the Legislative Assembly Council, to help him win that election. They had an MP, Arvind Samant, who was the sitting Lok Sabha MP. Father was the Chief Minister of Maharashtra. They could have converted it into a model constituency. They failed to do that. There was massive anti-incumbency, which is why he almost lost.
Yeah.
So, again, the fact is, I think that the moot question to ask is, are parties like this capable of introspecting after one defeat? And my honest answer to you is, parties with this kind of architecture are incapable of introspecting. They will always thrust a person who, despite successive defeats, will be thrust upon the party, will be thrust upon the public. They will blame everything from the media to EVMs, to election commission, to social media, to agencies, to money power, to muscle power, but they will refuse to introspect. And that is the reality of many parties in our opposition today. And that is what genuinely worries me. Because for any, and I say this as someone who's from the NDA, that even people in the NDA want a strong opposition, a strong, constructive opposition that provides suggestions. Today, you're in a situation, okay, the war in Iran has come to an end. When you have global crisis, you have COVID, you need an opposition to work with the government. The opposition also can provide constructive suggestions. We're living in an era where the opposition is praying for crisis after crisis, hoping for a fluke that the crisis will lead to anti-incumbency against the government. But what they don't realize is that there's anti-incumbency against the opposition. Even if voters want to change, they're seeing the same faces in the opposition who failed repeatedly and are failing to provide a new narrative, a new alternative. So why will they vote for them?
Yep. Well, that's an interesting point. As I close this conversation, I just want to say one thing on an aside. Ladies and gentlemen, karma, the law of karma is so interesting, Milind. So Shan Singh Rajput died in June. I think it was June 2020. And I think it was the 14th of June. Today is the 18th of June, 2026, right? Who would have imagined? And what Uddhav did was he tried his best to cover up the case. Parambir's police closed the SSR case before the country could ask a single question. Today I want to tell all SSR fans it is your victory as well, because it's the end of the political career of a man who ran an evil empire, who tried to cover up Disha Salian, who tried to cover up the SSR case, who hunted and persecuted Republic for daring to speak for the truth, ladies and gentlemen. And that man is getting no sympathy tonight. He's gone overboard, and today people are laughing at Uddhav and Aditya, not even looking their way, not an ounce of sympathy. Well, last point. Milind, can you tell me briefly what you guys are planning since you're part of the NDA now? What is all this effort towards the 360? Are you going to do uniform civil code? Are you going to pass just the women's and delimitation? Because everything works through a strategy, right? People, you're raising expectations, right?
Let me be very candid with you. Let me be absolutely candid. I've been very candid so far in the last 20 minutes or so. None of this is a result or a prequel to what could happen in Parliament with regards to the women's reservation bill and delimitation, which unfortunately
I mean, you
didn't
need
get passed.
the numbers. You need the numbers.
Let me tell you this. The number of MPs who boycotted today's meeting in Delhi, these MPs, I know for a fact, have been upset for the last year. This is way before the government was planning a delimitation bill, before the government was planning the women's reservation bill. So this has nothing to do with it. These are two absolutely different things.
Okay.
Yes, if these MPs leave their party, if they make that public announcement, if these MPs choose to join my party, join the NDA, certainly our numbers will improve, certainly our numbers will increase. But Arnab, again, now for example, let's look at, since you're again zooming out a bit and talking about the larger issue of what's going to happen in Parliament. Look at what happened with DMK, for instance. I mean, I'm very happy for the NDA to take credit, but who's doing what's it? The Congress ditched a party which was the only party in the India alliance that was backing the Congress They themselves ditched them at the last minute. They won MPs because of them in the Lok Sabha 2 years ago. They fought the assembly with them. They ditched them overnight. And now tomorrow, let's say hypothetically the DMK decides to support the NDA with the constitutional amendment bill. Whose fault is that? It's the opposition's fault. Of course, there are people who will take credit. Of course, there are. If it benefits the NDA, that's good. If it benefits the country, that's good.
I'm thinking.
So
of
I'm only
something
trying to
else,
make a
Milind.
larger point. I'm trying to make a larger point.
I'm thinking of.
The opposition is doing it to itself.
Yeah.
Arnab, if you're an MP of the UBT today,
Yeah.
and you are hearing Sanjay Raut giving a press conference,
Yeah.
and abusing you, accusing you of corruption, when you're on the verge of, you're sitting on the fence. If I was a leader of that party, I would have sent out an olive branch.
No,
I'm
just thinking of
if there's
something
any
else.
issue,
An episode came to my mind, and I'll share this and I'll close. We was 20 years back. I was on a flight, and Milind Deora was sitting on an aisle seat, one seat ahead of me. And I said, Milind, if you don't mind, I'll give you a piece of advice. He said, what? I said, stop doing these interviews as a young MP, young politician category. He said, why? I said, you don't need that. You're good enough. Just to be put as a young MP is a bit patronizing. And when I look at him, 20 years have passed. He's turned out quite well, hasn't he? And how insecure Rahul Gandhi must be to throw out Himanta, Milind, Jyotiraditya Scindia, Jitin Prasad. I know his lips are sealed. My diplomatic friend Milind will not say anything about it. I'll say this tonight. Think, viewers, how damn insecure Rahul Gandhi must be to throw Himanta, Milind, Jyotiraditya, Jitin Prasad. It's like you count all your people who are your peers or younger to you and make you insecure and identify them, make them insecure and throw them one by one. But that's the nature of politics, It's Pascal's law. Water finds its own level. Milind, it's great to see you tonight. And all the best, right?
Thank you.
All the best.
I do remember that flight.
You remember the flight, yeah?
Of course, of course.
We are both
it was in
getting-
2004 or 5. I remember the advice. You have an elephant's memory, as do I.
Thank you, Milind, for remembering that. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. That's Milind Deora, ladies and gentlemen, Member of Parliament of the Shiv Sena. Manisha Kayande, why are you breaking? Manisha Kayande will come back. Vishwas Pathak, why are you breaking? Is the BJP playing a role in breaking the Shiv Sena? We also have Kishore Tiwari and Sanjay Dwivedi, leader and spokesperson of the UBT. Vishwas Pathak ji.
No, not at all. See why this happens. When there is no clear-cut guidelines, when there is no ideology or decisive leadership, this happens. In 1984, we had 2 members of parliaments elected, and our leader was Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who lost it. But despite of that, those 2 members of parliament believed in the leadership of Mr. Vajpayee, and thereafter you saw what has happened. It's a history.
I'm parking the car.
So basically, today there is no leadership. Mr. Uddhav Thackeray got this out of legacy. He was not cut out for this role, which he has accepted. And you have listed out the scenes. And good, you reminded to the public. Now, time is taking its own way, and that is the reason why it is happening. In 2019, he started by betraying Bharatiya Janata Party and Mr. Devendra Fadnavis. Thereafter, a person like you was behind bar. We also know how this Kangana Ranaut cursed him, then Mrs. Rana, and many more things.
Yeah.
I think because of no leadership and only selfish approach and only monarchical politics, this thing is happening, and I will not be wondering if rest of the MPs, rest of the MLAs and corporators also come to Mr.
There is a rumor, Sanjay Dwivedi. Manisha Kayande also is with us. She's spokesperson and MLC of the real Shiv Sena. Manisha Kayande, it is believed there's a rumor that out of the other 3, 2 will also go.
Well, let's not go about by the rumors. The fact is that Uddhav Thackeray has unable to deliver. He is not able to stop people leaving his party. And we are here, of course, to welcome anybody who wants to join Eknath Shinde ji, working with him, because all over Maharashtra, people are joining with us. Simply because Eknath ji is available, he welcomes everyone, and he is not deceptive. I think that
what do you mean
till
deceptive?
now,
Why are you calling Uddhav? Why are you calling Uddhav deceptive? No, why are you using the word deceptive? Why did you use the word deceptive, Manisha? Why are you calling Uddhav deceptive?
Deceptive because in 2019 it was cheating the mandate. The mandate was given for BJP and Shiv Sena, and he joined hands with the Congress. And now his own spokesperson, the great Sanjay Raut, tells people, go and join Congress. He's ahead of Uddhav Thackeray also. He abuses people. He abuses his own cadre. And Gali Galoch, and the entire nation is listening. You know, as Arnab says, the entire nation wants to know. The entire nation is listening. And this is what people are getting. Early in the morning, you switch on the TV and you hear such abuses. And Uddhav Thackeray doesn't say a word. And there are two other MPs sitting beside him. One is Anil Desai and one is Arvind Sawant. Not able to stop him, not able to control him. And people have not even...
That's true. I just got, the line got frozen.
Parliament because of the member, or because of the MLAs who elected him to the Rajya Sabha.
Yeah.
Shame on him. Shame on him.
Absolutely. Today he's left with absolutely nothing. There are only some people left that hoping they will substitute for Sanjay Raut. Sanjay Dwivedi, you are the official spokesperson of the Uddhav Sena, or have you also gone?
2019 की मनीषा कांते जी ने भी बात की। अरोज जी, धन्यवाद आपको जो आपने हमको डिबेट में बुलाया। 2019 की बात की अभी मनीषा कांते जी ने। 2019 में अजय दादा पवार के चुनाव में मुख्यमंत्री बना दिया गया था। इसके बाद जब मीटिंग महाविकास अघाड़ी की हुई है, उसमें स्पष्ट रूप से शिंदे जी का नाम लिया गया था। तो अगर उस समय वो शिंदे जी को पसंद नहीं था कि हम एनसीपी और कांग्रेस से गठबंधन आपको करना है, तो भैया वहां से अलग हो जाते हैं आप। 2.5 साल तक आपने इंतजार किया। किस लिए इंतजार किया? किस लिए? सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने बात करी कि आपको तुरंत 2019 अलग हो जाना चाहिए था। जहां तक पार्टी टूटने की बात है, हम पार्टी चुनाव चिन्ह नहीं था, बिना पार्टी का नाम था, उसके बाद हम 12% वोट लाए। हमारा 5% वोट इसलिए कम हो गया कि हमारे पास चुनाव चिन्ह नहीं था।
वो कांग्रेस के साथ जाने की जिम्मेदारी और थिंकिंग ये आदित्य ठाकरे की थी, एकनाथ शिंदे की नहीं थी।
अरे कैसे आपने कह दिया? इतने बड़े पत्रकार हैं, कैसी बात कर रहे हैं आप? किसने ही बात कर रहे हैं मानवर? आप अभी सुशांत सिंह राजपूत के नाम ले रहे थे, विजय सल्यान के नाम ले रहे थे, सीबीआई जांच कराई, क्या निकला उसमें क्या निकला? आप जो आदित्य ठाकरे के नाम ले रहे हैं, आदित्य ठाकरे क्यों चाहेंगे? जहां पूरी कमेटी जाएगी, आदित्य ठाकरे तो एक सिंपल विधायक है, अभी उसमें भी नहीं है वो कि वो कुछ सलाह मसूला कर सके।
तो जब लोगों ने बेबी पेंगुइन नाम का इस्तेमाल किया, बेबी पेंगुइन, तो परमवीर और उद्धव ने उनको अरेस्ट क्यों किया?
आप बैठ के देखिए, आप बड़े पत्रकार हैं अर्नब जी, आप जिसके चाहे उसका जो नाम रखना चाहते हैं लीजिए, आप रख सकते हैं ना भाई, आप बड़े पत्रकार हैं, अच्छी आपकी वो है तो आप रख सकते हैं। लेकिन ये सब चीजें गलत है, राजनीति में चीजें होना ये चीजें गलत है। मैं इसका विरोध करूंगा आपसे। और जहां तक बात 2019 की, अगर उनको पसंद नहीं था तो 2.5 साल उनको मंत्री नहीं बनना था। दूसरी बात,
मनीषा कांडे इज रिस्पॉन्डिंग टू यू। विश्वास जी, संजय जी, डॉक्टर मनीषा कांडे आपको रिस्पॉन्ड कर रही हैं। जी मनीषा जी।
संजय जी,
सुन लीजिए।
I would like to reply to this because people respect
Kishore.
The cadre respected Uddhav Thackeray. We were tolerating joining hands with Congress. We were tolerating all this. We knew that something is definitely going wrong, and this is not the mandate given by people. We were liked joining hands with Congress, but we were tolerating all this until one fine day, Honorable Eknath Shinde took the decision of bringing the party back on the lines of Hindutva. The line of Hindutva that was set by Honorable Balasaheb Thackeray. And that is the true Shah which believes in his thought. Because he is the one who said, the day Shiv Sena joins hands with Congress, that will be the last. I will shut down my shop. That is what he had said. And Eknath Shinde is the true follower, following the true legacy of Honorable Balasaheb Thackeray. So what he is talking about, the 2.5 years, why didn't we leave? Because we thought good sense would prevail on Uddhav Thackeray.
Yeah. You know, I believe, Kishore, that this fellow Aditya is the real reason for the split. You know? Everybody, this Aditya fellow, he is the real reason for the split. And Aditya also pushed Uddhav away from the MVA alliance towards the Congress and the NCP. Am I right, Vishwas? You know, this is generally believed that Aditya is a woke kind of person. You know, he is American in his approach. My question is, today. See, the fact is, Sanjay ji, Uddhav and Aditya are both ineffective and inefficient. Right? But the important thing is that Uddhav abandoned Hindutva. The real issue, Uddhav made it easier by abandoning Hindutva. He said, I want posters to now be in Urdu. Am I right, Vishwas Pathak ji? Nothing wrong.
Yes.
You can have posters in Urdu. And he said, let me focus on minority areas. Let me take a minority appeasement line. Right? And he therefore made it easy. This was a complete U-turn from everything that Balasaheb Thackeray stood for. Am I right? Vishwas Pathak, you're an experienced politician here. Uddhav made it easier.
Absolutely right. He has abandoned Hindutva. He has abandoned the thoughts of Veer Savarkar. He has abandoned Ram Mandir temple issues and many more things. He went away from his basic ideology for his own benefit. He wanted to become chief minister.
Should I be allowed to speak?
No, but let Vishwas complete. Let Vishwas complete.
And icing on the cake was when this contract was given to Sanjay Raut, who is turning out to be contract killer, and he's killing his own party, his own people. And this Uddhav Thackeray and Aditya Thackeray cannot understand. And I think as long as it continues, and as Milind also said rightly, as long as it continues, I think it is a matter of time. The closure of this left out Shiv Sena is very close by.
I also believe that the truth about the Antilia case should come out. I believe the entire truth has not come out. I really hope it comes out. Never mind who's involved. We have to bring it out. Now, Kishore Tiwari, I feel bad for you because you're nowhere. You don't have a party. You may be an individual spokesperson of Uddhav because Uddhav doesn't have a party anymore. You can't call a group of Sanjay Raut and Uddhav to be a party.
Arnab, I will explain you.
Right.
This split has been engineered by Amit Shah.
Oh God.
And triggered by Sanjay Raut. This is the fact. And the functioning of the party...
Why is it triggered? I understood the first allegation you made. Why is it triggered by Sanjay Raut?
The 4 MPs signed and 2 MPs were hesitant to sign. But the language used by Sanjay Raut has forced them to sign. This is unfair. If you are like Dina
what information does Sanjay Raut have? Manisha, you're an insider. What information does Sanjay Raut have that makes him so important, that makes Uddhav and Aditya so scared of him? He has some secret information or something, because politically he's useless. You know, he can't win a municipality election. Does he have some secret information?
Very true.
No, Manisha.
I think you should ask this question to Mr. Tiwari.
Yes,
because,
Mr.
you know,
Tiwari?
I don't know why people are tolerating him. Why the entire Uddhav Thackeray team is tolerating Sanjay Raut. I mean, today I felt so shameful. I mean, why even Rashmi Thackeray shouldn't intervene? I mean, why she should not stop all this nonsense that, you know, Sanjay Raut is playing with the party. I think he has taken a vow. I think he has taken a vow to finish the party. And tomorrow, I think, you know, somebody will offer him a big lock and
Manisha, I will like
there is this theory doing the rounds that he's doing a hit job. He's a Trojan horse, as they say, Vishwas Pathak, that he's been given a supari to finish whatever it is remaining of the Uddhav Sena. People actually think so. Yes, Kishore.
Yeah, but this is not the case that Sanjay Raut is having information, because he is not having up-to-date information. He was talking about 15 crore. My information is all MPs have been given 100 kokas. So information is my up-to-date.
Who's been given money? What is your proof? You're saying...
Yeah. Some of the MPs are in touch with me. They have paid money in Matochri to have a ticket. Let me speak, Manisha. I am giving you inside information.
I'm just surprised. It's a big joke. Some MPs are in touch with you. That's why I laughed.
Dr. Manisha Kande, the fact is that if you sell the seat, tickets are being sold, the member of parliament bound to recover the money, and this is the only
may I ask you, Sanjay Raut is asking people to join the Congress. He's asking the Trinamool to join Congress. He's asking NCP, SP people to join Congress. So how much advance is Sanjay Raut getting? Should I ask this question to you? Somebody please answer this for me.
I'd like to add, I would like to, Manisha, update you. Sanjay Gandhi is an international advisor and he is an international spokesperson. So advising the national parties is the minor thing for him. And I will ask Sanjay Raut and I will come back to you because I have your number.
We'll meet on the same show.
Yeah, we'll meet on the same show. Vishwas Pathak, the allegation is of enticement, 10 crores, chartered planes, all these things are doing the rounds, right? You want to use this opportunity to respond to that?
Yeah, no. When Mr. Raj Thackeray left Shiv Sena, or Mr. Narayan Rane left Shiv Sena, or Mr. Bhujbal left Shiv Sena, had they done it for money? Now, out of these 6 members of parliaments, I have seen the affidavits. Some of the MPs net worth is more than 100 crores. Will they do it for 10 crores? Will they do it for charter flights and all that thing? I think this is rubbish.
That figure is incorrect.
They were all fed up. They wanted to come out of this party because there was no prospects left under the leadership of Mr. Uddhav Thackeray.
Okay.
I think Mr. Thackeray is also in the hurry to close his own shop.
Viewers, that's enough time on Uddhav and Aditya. They were heading towards this. They are both weak and incompetent, and this is what happens to weak, incompetent, but also corrupt people. At 9 o'clock tonight, the All India Muslim Personal Law Board exposes its divide Hindu plot. The AIMPLB says Hindus are not a majority in India.
QS and THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Tonight there's an image that's going viral, and that is from the G7 summit happening in the French Alps. And what is that one image? It is the image of a long and warm conversation between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is the image. When Narendra Modi enters the room and Donald Trump stands up, shakes hands, and then they are talking hand in hand for a long time. This is happening in the G7 summit in Evian. And I want to tell you right at the start why this one handshake carries far more weight
than the photograph in front of you suggests. Because if you see the positioning, you see the importance in the global arena of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India, and we should all feel extremely proud of that. If you see the official picture that is taken, and that itself is power play of a different kind, and I would like to show those pictures. When the official picture is taken in Evian, France, where the G7 meeting is happening, you see Donald Trump come out for the official photograph, and then he walks down the blue carpet, and then he has a conversation with Macron, and there you see the British Prime Minister, and eventually all the world leaders, they gather for the official photograph. And as they come out on the lawns for that official photograph, you shall see President Macron, the host, in the middle, with Narendra Modi to his left and Donald Trump to his right. Narendra Modi is on his left, Donald Trump is on his right.
ऑक्टोरोमा मैनुअल वाइंडिंग 4 लोगों के पास है
कुछ इससे भी अनोखा
कमला पसंद सिर्फ एक अनोखा स्वाद कमला पसंद पान मसाला.
Tonight there's an image that's going viral, and that is from the G7 summit happening in the French Alps. And what is that one image? It is the image of a long and warm conversation between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is the image. When Narendra Modi enters the room, and Donald Trump stands up, shakes hands, and then they are talking hand in hand for a long time. This is happening in the G7 summit in Evian. And I want to tell you right at the start why this one handshake carries far more weight than the photograph in front of you suggests. Because if you see the positioning, you see the importance in the global arena of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India, and we should all feel extremely proud of that. If you see the official picture that is taken, and that itself is power play of a different kind, and I would like to show those pictures. When the official picture is taken in Evian, France, where the G7 meeting is happening, you see Donald Trump come out for the official photograph, and then he walks down the blue carpet, and then he has a conversation with Macron, and there you see the British Prime Minister, and eventually all the world leaders, they gather for the official photograph. And as they come out on the lawns for that official photograph, you shall see President Macron, the host, in the middle, with Narendra Modi to his left and Donald Trump to his right. Narendra Modi is on his left, Donald Trump is on his right, and that picture, ladies and gentlemen, tells the story of India's significance.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
Ladies and gentlemen, the problem is that there are cameras everywhere, so sometimes people say things they hope will be said in a quiet gathering, will not go out, but then the camera records it, it reveals your own intent. And that is what has happened to the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, whose official spokesperson, Maulana Sajjad Nomani, has declared officially that according to him, Hindus are not a majority in India today. He says Hindus are not a majority. He has also, in the course of what he has said, declared his, and obviously therefore his organization's agenda of dividing Hindus. Let me share with you what Sajjad Nomani of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board has said in this video. I will cut that soundbite into 3 parts and play all the 3 one by one.
clip one where Maulana Sajjad Nomani in Urdu is saying that Hindus are not a majority in India. Listen to soundbite one.
मैं हजर अस्वद और खाने काबा के गिलाफ पर हाथ रखकर कहता हूं कि भारत में हिंदू अकलियत में है। किसी कीमत पर हिंदुओं को अक्सरियत में नहीं माना जा सकता।
Ladies and gentlemen, so the All India Muslim Personal Law Board says Hindus are not a majority in India. Okay. Their second comment where they say that various communities don't consider themselves Hindu. This reveals his thinking. He says Jats, for example, are not Hindu. Lingayats are not Hindu. So-and-so is not Hindu. So he plans to create sections within the Hindu community, create disaffection towards Hinduism, then say that Hindus are not in a majority in India. Think of the mindset and the planning of this man. Soundbite 2.
हम जाट हैं, हिंदू नहीं हैं, हमें हिंदू बना दिया गया, इसलिए हम इस बात का ऐलान करने के लिए कि हम हिंदू नहीं हैं और सरकारी कागजात में हम अपने आप को सिख डिक्लेयर करेंगे। वेस्टर्न यूपी से लेकर हरियाणा तक के जाट इस बात का ऐलान कर चुके हैं। मैं फिर दोहराता हूँ, सिख हिंदू नहीं हैं, शेड्यूल कास्ट के लोग हिंदू नहीं हैं, ट्राइबल लोग, आदिवासी लोग जो इस मुल्क के असली बाशिंदे हैं, सबसे कदीम, वो भी हिंदू नहीं हैं, तमिलनाडु के लोग हिंदू नहीं हैं।
Now look at the way he's targeting Hinduism. Turn the clock and ask yourself, if someone were to talk like this, if anyone were to talk like this, with this malicious intent about Muslims, then the whole woke brigade would come and say, why are you targeting Muslims? But you see, nobody does that. You can't say that. But you think of the mindset of this man who goes around and says, Hindus are a minority. And then he says that I'm disappointed with secular Hindus. Again, mindset issue. He says, we are disappointed with secular Hindus. We were trying to divide Hindus among fascist Hindus and secular Hindus, typecast one group as fascist Hindus, call others secular Hindus, and then hope that by doing so, Hindus would be divided. But he said we've been let down by secular Hindus, and therefore we need to find another way of dividing the Hindu community. All this is on record. Listen to this.
हमारी ये नावाकफी है अपने मुल्क से, और शुरू से जो हमने हिंदुओं को बांटा है, ये सेकुलर हिंदू हैं, ये कम्युनल हिंदू हैं, इस तकसीम ने हमको बहुत धोखा दिया है। पहले सेकुलर हिंदुओं ने हमको नुकसान पहुंचाया, सो कॉल्ड सेकुलर हिंदू। अब वो लोग जो फासिस्ट हिंदू हैं, उनके हाथ में उन्होंने मुल्क को परोस दिया।
See viewers, now I don't need to say anything. I would just say to those woke people who say that this whole target Hindu campaign, Hindu phobia, anti-Hindu mindset is an imagination of right-wing conspiracy theorists. I would tell them, listen to this, wake up, smell the coffee. And even if you don't wake up, you want to keep sleeping, do what the hell you want to, but don't question people who speak the truth. This is a very sinister mindset. It's a very radicalized state of mind. This attempt to fragment the entire Hindu society. If the entire purpose of your existence is to break Hindus, if the whole idea that you have, the only reason you live for, is to divide the Hindu community, then what a terrible way of thinking, what a terrible life. What a wolf in sheep's clothing kind of thinking. These are people who say we are victimized, marginalized, and look at the way in which they speak. Anyway, let me say I agree with this man for a moment, this Maulana Sajjad Nomani, and let me say, okay, Hindus are a minority. Okay, Maulana, if I say that Hindus are a minority, then where are the reservations for Hindus? Let's have reservations for all Hindus. Right? And if I don't need reservation, then why do Muslims demand a reservation for being in a minority? Is there any logic there? If Hindus are a minority, then I am a minority and I want a uniform civil code. Then why do Muslims have a problem with it? It makes no sense. If Hindus are a minority and they want a uniform civil code, why do Muslims have a problem, or some section of Muslims have a problem with the uniform civil code? If I am a Hindu and I am a minority, then I want everything that Muslims get for being a minority. Give the Hindus of this country pre-metric, post-metric scholarships. Give them merit cum means scholarship. Give minority status for Hindu institutions. Promote Hindu institutions. Promote all the other privileges that you get for being in the minority. But don't say that Hindus are a minority, then why do you want minority status? I want to ask the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, which always keeps crying that they are a minority. How can you be a minority when you say on record that Hindus are a minority? Now, either Hindus are a minority or not. And if Hindus are a minority, and if what the All India Muslim Personal Law Board is trying to say that Muslims are a majority in this country, then give minority status to Muslims. How can the All India Muslim Personal Law and its spokesperson continue to play the victim card while spewing such illogical nonsense? Ladies and gentlemen, I played this soundbite because this is something we need to debate. What he says will not change the reality, but we need to recognize that such intolerance of thought and expression and speech cannot be allowed in this country. Let's debate.
मैं हजर अस्वद और खाने काबा के गिलाफ पर हाथ रखकर कहता हूं कि भारत में हिंदू अकलियत नहीं।
A sensational revelation by the AIMPLB has gone viral. The All India Muslim Personal Law Board spokesperson is heard saying Hindus are not a majority in India.
मैं हजर अस्वद और खाने काबा के गिलाफ पर हाथ रखकर कहता हूं कि भारत में हिंदू अकलियत में किसी कीमत पर हिंदुओं को अक्सरियत में नहीं माना जा सकता। मैं फिर दोहराता हूं, सिख हिंदू नहीं हैं, क्रिश्चियंस हिंदू नहीं हैं, बुद्धिस्ट हिंदू नहीं हैं, शेड्यूल कास्ट के लोग हिंदू नहीं हैं, ट्राइबल लोग, आदिवासी लोग जो इस मुल्क के असली बाशिंदे हैं सबसे कदीम, वो भी हिंदू नहीं हैं। तमिलनाडु के लोग हिंदू नहीं हैं, लिंगायत हिंदू नहीं हैं। आप सोचिए ज़रा, हमारी ये नावाकफ़ी है अपने मुल्क से, और शुरू से जो हमने हिंदुओं को बांटा है, ये सेकुलर हिंदू हैं, ये कम्युनल हिंदू हैं। इस तकसीम ने हमको बहुत धोखा दिया है। पहले सेकुलर हिंदुओं ने हमको नुकसान पहुंचाया, सो कॉल्ड सेकुलर हिंदू। अब वो लोग जो फासिस्ट हिंदू हैं, उनके हाथ में उन्होंने मुल्क को परोस दिया। मैं आपसे बहुत सफाई के साथ कहता हूँ, लोग भी ऐलान कर रहे हैं कि अब हम ऐलान कर बाकायदा सिख मज़हब कबूल करेंगे। हम जाट हैं, हिंदू नहीं हैं, हमें हिंदू बना दिया गया। इसलिए हम इस बात का ऐलान करने के लिए कि हम हिंदू नहीं हैं और सरकारी कागजात में हम अपने आप को सिख डिक्लेयर करेंगे। वेस्टर्न यूपी से लेकर हरियाणा तक के जाट इस बात का ऐलान कर चुके हैं। हज़ारों की पंचायतें उनकी जमा होकर इसका ऐलान कर रही हैं।
AIMPLB's plot to divide Hindus stands exposed.
Maulana, what Maulana Khalil Ahmad Sajjad has said is ground reality, is truth. So there should not be debate, because Constitution of India has also accepted. Because of that, India has coined a phrase that we live in unity despite our diversity. Although they are claimed to be Hindus, actually they are not Hindus.
तमिलनाडु के लोग हिंदू नहीं हैं।
If the people of Tamil Nadu are not Hindus,
हम जाट हैं, हिंदू नहीं हैं।
If the Jats are not Hindus, what does the AIMPLB want to say? BJP has slammed Maulana Sajjad Nomani's comments, calling them anti-Hindu.
ये वही जहरीला व्यक्ति है। हमने देखा कि वोट जिहाद की अपील की, मतलब हिंदुओं को बांटो टुकड़ों में, कभी जाति के नाम पर, कभी और नाम पर, और फिर मुस्लिम वोट बैंक को। और यही चीज तो दरअसल इनके राजनीतिक आका कांग्रेस पार्टी करती है। समाजवादी पार्टी, तृणमूल कांग्रेस, ये सभी पार्टियां इसी प्रोपेगेंडा और एजेंडे में चलती है।
This begs the question, does the open admission by AIMPLB to divide the Hindus reveal something more sinister?
What a disgraceful comment. Mohammed Suleiman is the founder of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, and he joins me tonight. Can you hear me, Mohammed Suleiman ji?
Yes. What do you want from me?
Can you hear me, Mohammed Suleiman ji? I want nothing from you. I'm just first checking whether you can hear me.
I quite well I hear you.
Good. Now,
I hear you, Mr. Arnab.
Why does the All India Muslim Personal Law Board? Because you are for Muslims. You focus on Muslims. Why are you obsessed about Hindus? Why don't you focus on the welfare of Muslims and not on, supporting corrupt people who want to build five-star hotels on Waqf land? You focus on improving Muslims, educating Muslims, right? Removing nikah halala among Muslims, removing triple talaq among Muslims, removing polygamy among Muslims, removing injustice among Muslims, ending the divisions between Muslims, Shia, Sunni, Barelvi, this, that, so many individual divisions again between Muslims, removing inequities between Muslims. Focus on improving things for Muslims because you are a Muslim organization. But you are obsessed about 120 crore Hindus. Why are you obsessed about 120 crore Hindus of India? You can't change that. You can try, you can say this and that and dream. It's never going to change. I'm shocked that you have supported the comments of this gentleman Nomani. Why don't you focus on Muslims and not Hindus?
Mr. Arnab, will you give me opportunity to respond your narratives? Mr. Arnab, will you give me opportunity to reply your narratives?
Yes, I'm giving you an opportunity. My question is, why don't you focus about everything wrong among Muslims?
Thank you.
You're a Muslim organization. Focus on improving the life of Muslims.
Let me reply. Mr. Arnab, let me reply. You need not to preach me. Let me reply. It is not Muslim who have any sort of plot or obsession to divide Hindu society. Neither Muslim of India have divided the entire society and caste system on Varna Vyavastha. There is no role of Muslims. There is no role of outsiders or Indian Muslims. It is the priest, the higher strata in our Indian society who claim to be from higher strata, Brahminical cult, Savarnas, they have divided.
So there is no caste system among Muslims?
Another thing is
then
that,
why do you want reservations for certain sections of Muslims?
Let me complete.
Why do you want reservation on the basis of caste for members of the Muslim community, Muhammad Sulaiman?
Otherwise I will quit. Let me complete.
Don't lose your temper. Don't lose your temper. Don't lose your temper. Don't lose your temper now, please.
Oh, I'm not losing.
Yeah.
You are interrupting. You always interrupt. That's why I've left. If you want, I will leave right now. Otherwise, you listen me, what I have to say. Mr. Arnab.
Put me on there. Now why are you cutting me off?
India, unity in diversity. Unity in diversity. Even atheists are part of India. The Sikh never claimed to be Hindu. They have their different set of faith. And Khalsa Panth. They never...
You focus on Muslims, no? Why are you commenting on Sikhs, Christians, everything? When the PFI targeted Christians, in Kerala, did you open your mouth? You are not pro-Christian, you are not pro-Sikh, you are just anti-Hindu.
Here to be receiving end.
Yeah.
No, you have to listen to me. Mr. Arnab, what Indian people think, you have to tell and inform people of the country as an important channel. You may remember that Karnataka Assembly, dominated by Lingayats, have passed a resolution that they are not Hindus. Let Indian...
Are Ahmadiyas Muslim?
Their claim.
Are Ahmadiyas Muslim?
No,
Are Ahmadiyas Muslim?
What? No.
Are Ahmadiyas Muslim?
No.
Did the All India Muslim Personal Board, which claims to represent the interests of Indian Muslims, did you not exclude Ahmadiyya Muslims from your membership? Did an unelected body, the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, count among its members religious scholars from Deoband, Jamaat-e-Islami Hind, Jamaat-e-Ulema-e-Hind, politicians like Asaduddin Owaisi, PFI founder, but you excluded Ahmadiyyas entirely. You excluded Ahmadiyyas entirely. You are answerable to no voter, but you exercise what you think is a stranglehold on the Indian Muslim mind. Why did you exclude Ahmadiyyas?
A mind who has had. You are a mind who has a particular bent of mind. So I don't want to engage anymore. I thank you, I quit again.
Don't quit. You have to be able to listen. There's no point running away. There you see he's walked away. We'll try to get him back later on the debate tonight, viewers. But I want to say, when I welcome my panelists tonight, that Hindus are united. Let me tell you, have no doubt about it. Hindus are more united than they have ever been, and they have been united politically, socially, civilizationally. And in fact, all of India is wrapped in the Hindu civilizational ethos of this great nation of ours, Bharat. Tariq Ahmad Lari, Tala Amar Rashidi, Shoaib Jamai and Syed Asad Abbas. On the other side tonight, Amitosh Parikh of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad, Mr. Lakshman Singh Markam, tribal leader and author, Additional Secretary for the Government of Madhya Pradesh from Bhopal. YG Madhuvanti, political analyst, well-known Hindu voice, and Tuhin Sinha of the BJP. Lakshman Singh Markamji, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Lakshmanji, you are from the tribal communities. According to All India Muslim Personal Law Board, yes, you cannot be Hindu. I'd like your comments on that.
Arnab ji, first of all, thank you first of all, we can be anything, but we cannot be Semitic or Kafir.
Everyone
because
on the right.
From their definition, we are pagan and Kafir. We are pagan and Kafir. And tribal girls are the biggest victim of love jihad and land jihad today. Why we cannot be Brahmic or Semitic? Because we are polytheistic society. we worship many gods. So if we are worshipping many gods and we are worshipping Prakriti or nature, which is barred in their religion, they say if you worship anything which has not been created
Syed, you are muted.
Their God or Allah, you are either kufrat or you are...
Yeah. Continue. Lakshman, I'm listening to you.
So the sympathy which they are showing, they have no understanding of the constitution. What Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkar said in constitution, we are the root of Hinduism, because we are preserving the root sentiment of Hinduism. The tribal communities, they are, basically we have a saying in Hindi, jo nahi bholenath ka, wo nahi hamari jaat ka. And I tell you, any tribal community, like I come from Gond, our main god is Bada Dev, which is the synonym for Shiv. You go to Bhil tribe, their main god is Baba Dev, which is also Shiv. You go to Urao, you have Marang Bonga, Shiv Bonga. All tribal communities, they are worshipping Shiv, a proto-Shiv or Parvati or Shakti. So within Hindu fold, we are coming under the Shakt tradition, and we have well-established traditions, we have well-documented tradition. We are worshipping one of the most important sector of Hinduism. So their image versus our reality, they don't know. There are more than 700 communities, and all the communities, they are deep-rooted into the basic tenets of Hinduism. Only thing, we don't come into their frame. Therefore, they are not able to understand our religious understanding. For them, we are just cannon fodder because of our girls. They are being targeted in Jharkhand for land, for other things. They just want to protect. And another controversy which I want to add,
Abbas.
ORP in the coming...
You're muted. Other voices not coming in. 1 second.
That other religious practices also.
I would first like to compliment Lakshman Singh Markam for speaking on behalf of the tribal community of this country. Because this is exactly the point I'm making. You know, I have done my post-graduation in social anthropology. And anybody who understands tribal culture realizes that there is complete congruity between Hindu tradition and tribal culture. And you have to be really foolish or desperate not to understand that the tribal communities of this country are part of the great Hindu civilizational tradition. Tuhin is himself from Jharkhand, right? Tuhin, which has a large tribal population. Tuhin, the Muslim radicalized leaders are trying to say that tribals are not Hindu. They are getting very desperate, aren't they?
Arnab, you would recall, in fact, 5 years ago, I was working on my book, The Legend of Birsa Munda, when one day suddenly Hemant Soren made this atrocious comment while he was addressing an online conclave at Harvard. He said, Adivasi na to kabhi Sanatan Dharm ka hissa tha na rahega. So, you know, in any which way, I had been researching on the Adivasi community, and mind you, for thousands of years, you know, in the hills, in the hinterlands, Lord Shiva has been worshipped by the Adivasi community. In fact, Deoghar in Jharkhand is a very classic example where a large number of worshippers, a large number of believers belong to the Adivasi community. So all these people who imagine, and in fact, when they say that, you know, because Adivasis worship Prakriti, because they worship nature, they cannot be part of Hinduism has an intrinsic connection any which way with nature, whether it is the sun god, the Chhat Puja, or any which way. You know, I worship sun god every Sunday. Whether it is, you know, something as simple as Tulsi, which is used in all our pujas, there is an intrinsic connection with nature for the Hindu community as well. So all of these arguments that, you know, the Sanatan Dharma is different is a planned conspiracy by some people. In fact, you know, during the writing of this book, I also had a very long discussion with Kariya Mundaji, the longest serving member of parliament from the Adivasi community, who in fact, you know, comes from the same village where Birsa Munda, you know, one of the villages where Birsa Munda had lived, in the Khuti district. Even he is of the firm view that the connection between Sanatan and Hinduism is intrinsic, it is age-old. So, you know, all these attempts to manufacture a distorted view is a planned conspiracy. But, you know, just to extrapolate, just to expand this discussion, I was listening to the All India Personal Muslim, the Maulana Sajjad Nomani. He mentioned about 3 or 4 different sets of people. He was mentioning about 6. And look at the very uncanny, similarity over here. Rahul Gandhi goes abroad 2 years ago and, deliberately tries to provoke the Sikh community, says, you come to India, aapko Gurudwara mein jaane nahi diya jayega. This vicious and toxic propaganda seems to be a planned agenda of
it's
not
also
only All India Personal Muslim Law Board, but also opposition parties.
It is a very deliberate attempt. It is a very deliberate attempt. Before you come in, 1 minute. Just 1 minute. Tala, wait. Tala, please wait. Tala, please wait. I want to ask you. Tala, wait a minute. Tala, wait. Thank you.
Quoting Birsa Munda.
Tala, please wait.
Himself founded a faith.
Tala, please wait. Tala, would you please listen to me? I have a question for you.
Let me also tell you.
No, 1 minute. I'm not discussing that here. 1 minute. Don't fall for the bait. My question to if you are saying that there is complete equality among Muslims in India. This is the argument that is being put. Then I want to ask Tala, are you Ashraf Muslim? Or are you Arzal Muslim?
Easier for you.
What kind of Muslim are you?
Yeah. Let me make it easier for you.
Ashraf and Alkaf and Arzal. Whatever the pronunciation, the point may be, you do realize that, okay, my pronunciation is bad, I'm not a Muslim, I don't know the way you pronounce things. That doesn't mean I don't understand what's going on. I want to ask you, are you upper caste Muslim? Ashraf are those people who say that our ancestry is from Persia or from Arabs, right? And then there is Aljaf, and then there is Arzal, right? And of course, Aljaf and Arzal together largely constitute, and this is where it gets uncomfortable for them, everyone on, Pasmanda Muslim.
Now allow me to...
What is the meaning of Pasmanda Muslim? The meaning of Pasmanda Muslim is those Madhuvanti who have been left behind, right? Which is the large majority of the Muslim population in the country who has been unfortunately underrepresented, right? In politics, in leading professions, and in political leadership. But if I were to ask them, are you Pasmanda Muslim, right? Are you Arzal Muslim? And why is there Arzal Muslims, right? And why are there people who want OBC reservations from among the Muslim community? Why is there still a caste division among Indian Muslims? Nobody can say there is no caste discrimination within the Muslim community of India. So what I'm saying is there was an acronym I used to use in school. It was MYOB, mind your own business. Do you understand? Since you're a great well-wisher of Hindus, mind your own business. Ahmadiyas are not considered Muslims by you. There's a lot of discrimination among the Muslim community. MYOB, mind your own business. Hindus will mind their own business. Muslims should mind their own business. Everybody will be happy. Yes, Tala.
Arnab, please MYOB, apply the acronym to yourself also. You should mind your own business. You can give lecture to the Muslims about Ahmadiyyas, about caste system, about...
I am not giving lecture, I am asking, is it true? It's a question, is it true? Is there discrimination? It matters. Since you are so much against discrimination, what about discrimination against the Muslim community? Yeah.
Mr. Arnab, I know you are a learned person and you have the stamina and the courage to listen to the truth. Allow me to respond. I have been listening to you since last 20 minutes.
Why don't you recognize the Ahmadiyya Muslims?
I recognize each and everything that is being said.
Does the All India Muslim Personal Law Board recognize the Ahmadiyya Muslims?
And the audacity of Arnab Goswami is that.
Why are you talking about me?
He can give lecture to the Muslims about caste system, about the.
Why do you have Sheikh, Sharif, Pasmanda among Muslims?
It's not Arnab ji who started this. It is not Arnab ji who started this giving lecture about caste system. It was the Maulana who spoke about the caste system. What is his problem? The caste system exists amongst the Hindus. It is our problem. Why are you bothered? How does it tickle your tonsils whether we have castes or we don't have castes? We are a majority. Who are you to come and comment about us and say that there are no Hindus in Tamil Nadu of all people? I am
At least have the courage to listen to the truth. You know nothing.
Why don't you MYOB mind your own business?
That's what I'm telling to you. Arnab, mind your own business.
Why are you going in some Muslim gathering and talking about Hindus all the time?
You can taunt the Muslims about caste.
But is it true that there are Ashrafs at the top, Alafs in the middle, and Arzals at the bottom? Why do you have so much division among the Muslim community even today?
When someone exposes the Varna system.
Are you Pasmanda? Are you Ashraf? What is your caste?
Arnab wants to divide the Muslims.
Which caste are you from?
But Arnab cannot face the reality.
But you say there is no caste system among Indian Muslims. I believe there is.
About Varna system.
I believe there is a caste system. There's a lot of division. Lot of very bad division within the Muslim community.
Quotes Birsa Munda, but he won't quote.
Is the All India Muslim Personal Law Board an Ashraf institution?
Based on that was.
Can I factually correct him on Birsa Munda?
Arnab, the BJP spokesperson does not do.
These people from WhatsApp University.
Their narrative, fake agenda, fake.
No, what kind of rubbish is he talking? Can I factually correct him? Arnab gave me 60 seconds because these WhatsApp University people who you got on your show will keep spreading the standard.
What was beside?
Just 60 seconds. Let me set the record straight over here. It's a fact.
Think about it.
Tell him to keep quiet because in the next 60 seconds, let me just set the record straight over here. Yes, it's a fact. It's a fact that Birsa Munda was forced to convert to Christianity at the age of 11 and he became Birsa David. But the same Birsa Munda quit Christianity when he was 15 because he realized that it was meant only to intimidate the tribal community. And the same Birsa Munda from 1895 onwards, 20 years later, after he came in contact with a Hindu saint called Anand Panrai, completely spread the ethos of Sanatan Dharma among Adivasis.
No, they are showing
these WhatsApp University guys.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen,
who listen to.
We need to just say.
Nomani, who follow the WhatsApp channel of Nomani, will never tell the truth to the community.
Will you give me 30 seconds, please? Will you give me 30 seconds and Tala, just chill for a minute. You see, viewers. I wish to say something that when.
आप नोमानी का फैन क्लब शुरू कर दीजिए।
अब 30 सेकंड मैं कुछ कहना चाहता हूँ। 30 सेकंड मैं कुछ कहना चाहता हूँ। 30 सेकंड का मैं कुछ कहना चाहता हूँ। देखिए, तला अमर रशीदी इज नॉट पसमंदा मुस्लिम, तो ये कभी समझ नहीं पाएंगे पसमंदा मुस्लिमों के साथ क्या जुल्म किया।
हड़ताल पर आए पसमंदा मुसलमानों के रिजर्वेशन के लिए आर्टिकल 340।
मगर क्या आप खुद पसमंदा मुसलमान हैं? आप पसमंदा है कि अशराफ हैं? आप पसमंदा हैं कि अशराफ हैं? जरा बताइए, पूछता है भारत। मगर आप अशराफ है ना? आप अशराफ है ना? क्या आप अशराफ हैं? क्या आप अशराफ हैं?
14 दिन मुसलमानों के लिए भूखहड़ताल पर।
क्या आप अशराफ हैं?
मुसलमानों के रिजर्वेशन के लिए।
क्या आप अशराफ हैं?
नहीं चलेगी यहाँ पे।
क्या आप अशराफ हैं?
मैं मुसलमान हूँ।
मगर क्या आप अशराफ मुसलमान हैं कि पसमंदा मुसलमान हैं?
रशीदी नहीं, रशादी है। मेरा नाम तला रशादी है। आप मेरा नाम भी सही प्रोनाउंस नहीं कर पाते। आप क्या जाने मैं।
चलिए, आप रशादी हैं, मगर क्या आप पसमंदा हैं कि अशराफ हैं?
मैं इसका जवाब दूंगा। आप पहले डिमांड कीजिए। इंडियन कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पसमानदा मुसलमानों को रिजर्वेशन देता है, जिसे पंडित नेहरू ने आर्टिकल।
क्या आप अशराफ है कि पसमानदा हैं? सी ही इज अनकंफर्टेबल मधुवंती व्हेन आई एम आस्किंग हिम दिस वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन। हमारे धर्म के बारे में इतना कमेंट कर रहे हैं, जरा आपको भी मैं पूछ लूं कि आप अशराफ है कि पसमानदा हैं?
पसमानदा मुसलमानों को रिजर्वेशन कब दे रहे हैं? भाजपा।
बट आर यू पसमानदा और आर यू अशराफ?
पूछिए, फिर मैं जवाब दूंगा मैं पसमानदा हूं कि नहीं। मैं कौन सा मुसलमान हूं मैं आपको बताऊंगा।
यानी कि आपने माना कि अलग अलग तरीके के मुसलमान होते हैं।
आप बताइए, मैं एक मुसलमान।
क्या ये सच है कि पसमानदा मुसलमानों पर बहुत डिस्क्रिमिनेशन करती है?
डर्टी ट्रिक्स यहाँ नहीं चलने वाली।
क्या पसमानदा मुसलमानों पर डिस्क्रिमिनेशन होता है?
मुस्लिम्स ऑफ इंडिया won't work here.
अच्छा, I am trying to divide Muslims. What are you trying to do? Unite Hindus.
Politics, your dirty tricks of dividing Muslims won't work here. The Muslims are united.
I am saying to you, Tala, first of all, listen to me. My questions are very pointed nowadays. And so pointed. You know why my questions have become pointed? Because I can tell you, I have a lot of experience. Listen to me now. I'll tell you. And don't get हिल मत जाइए, मैं सवाल पूछ रहा हूँ, इतने टेंशन में मत आइए। क्या ये सच है, पूछता है भारत, कि ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड एक लार्जली अशराफ इंस्टीट्यूशन है टॉप टू बॉटम? ये कभी पसमानदा मुसलमानों के हितों में बात नहीं करता।
Dirty tricks won't work, Arnab. No, you won't be able to divide Indian Muslims by your dirty tricks.
What is the dirty trick here, Madhuvanti?
Dividing Indian Muslims.
I'm not dividing. I'm telling.
Really? Can I please ask him one question? If he can stop screaming, I can ask him one question. No, I want to ask him one question.
Madhuvanti has a question for you.
You're talking about dirty tricks. You're talking about, oh, you can't divide Muslims in India and this and that. Why was the Maulana in a Muslim conclave talking about Hindus? How does it bother you? Whether we have Arnab, we don't have Arnab, whether we worship the nature, whether tribals are Hindus, whether Tamil Nadu people are Hindus or not, how does it bother you? You worry about your community. Why are you talking about Hindus? Why are you talking about whether Sikhs have a right to be Hindus or not, whether Jats have a right to be Hindu or not? Why don't you worry about yourselves? Why in a Muslim conclave, the Maulana is talking predominantly about Hindus? This basic question nobody wants to answer. You're just, all of you are just shooting off, screaming, saying, oh, you are trying to divide Muslims, you're trying to divide Muslims in India. We are not. Why are you talking about Hindus? That is my only question. How does it affect you? What happens in the Hindu community? Why are you bothered?
Between 1952 and 2004, there has been so much social discrimination among the Muslim community that Ashraf Muslims, who are only 2%, 2.1% of India's population, they captured more than double the number compared to their population of Lok Sabha seats. But Pasmanda Muslims, who are 11.4% of the population, got only 0.8% of the seats. Which means person to persons, Ashraf Muslims got 20 times political power compared to Pasmanda Muslims. I want to know, since Aligarh Muslim University was founded, एक मिनट बोलने दीजिए ना, how many Pasmanda Muslims were appointed Vice Chancellor? And after doing all of this, after discriminating against Pasmandas, refusing to represent Ahmadiyas, Sajjad Nomani is telling Jats that they are not Hindu. MYOB, mind your own business. Mind your own business, MYOB.
The outgoing Tariq Hamid, जो बीजेपी के वाइस प्रेसिडेंट है, वो पसमानदा मुस्लिम थे, उन्हें बीजेपी ने नहीं बनाया था वीसी. You are getting exposed by your own data.
Oh my God!
Are you Ashraf or are you Pasmanda?
सिस्टम पे नहीं बोल सकते.
आप क्या?
रोमानी कास्ट सिस्टम पे नहीं बोल सकते. पर अर्नब गोस्वामी बीजेपी के स्पोक्स पर्सन मिस्टर नरेंद्र मोदी बोल सकते हैं पसमानदा मुसलमानों को डिवाइड करने के बारे में.
आप क्यों नहीं बोलते?
क्या हिपोक्रेसी है?
Shoaib Jamai, I'd like you to come to the debate. Shoaib Jamai, can you tell our viewers what are the caste divisions, social divisions among Muslims in India? We are very interested to know. And why is it that Pasmanda Muslims have got very little representation, right, in the running of the All India Muslim Personal Law Board,
in political representation, and Ashraf Muslims have captured so much power.
No, see, Arnab ji, he'll again start talking about
Shoaib Jamai, please. Let Shoaib Jamai come.
A Pasmanda Muslim, I came from that background. Yeah. Cut gaya ye?
You can speak, I can hear you. Huh?
So I came from that background of the Pasmanda Muslim, though I was present in that program where Maulana Sajjad Numani has made this remark. It was 3 months ago. The context was very different, what you have quoted and making an edited video out of it. See, I came from Jharkhand. I knew the Adivasi people who they believe in. They are the worshippers of the Vanaspati. Even Birsa Munda has founded another religion called Barsait. He was neither a Hindu, he was not a Muslim or a Christian.
Wrong.
So that was very unfortunate.
You know more about tribals than tribal leader Lakshman Singh Markam. So why you are saying that Lakshman Singh Markam is not Hindu? I need you to 1 minute. Shoaib. Shoaib, tribal leader, please let a tribal voice speak, because if you are discriminating against tribals,
not Hindu.
You are discriminating against tribals.
Scholars and the Dalit activists, they often say that
you are discriminating against tribals, and a tribal leader is responding to you.
Hinduism.
Lakshman.
In 1927, by burning that.
Please don't feed your
book.
ideology or your views on tribals.
It is very evident there are large portions of the
tribals
in India,
and you are misquoting Birsa Munda. I want to come out here.
Louder, Lakshman, louder.
Birsa Munda started Birsaiyat. The Birsa Munda he started was based on the most important Sanatan Dharma practices, that the worship will be in front of Tulsi tree. It will be on Thursday. No, all the people will wear a janeu. And what are you talking about? He started Birsaiyat after visiting Jagannath temple. And who was the guru of Birsa Munda? You don't know about Birsa Munda. You only heard about Birsa Munda because in Jharkhand, 10,000 hectares of land has been looted by these so-called people. And the number of Waqf board land which was illegally occupied by Muslims. It is because of UCC and Waqf board. Let me speak.
हमें पता है यहाँ से हमने बचपन से आदिवासी समाज के साथ वहाँ पे रहे हैं हमारे वहाँ पे पड़ोसी भी हैं सब लोग जानते हैं हमें मालूम है कि वो किसकी पूजा करते हैं वो वनस्पति की पूजा करते हैं वो किसी यहाँ से डीटी की पूजा नहीं करते हैं आपको मालूम है ना चले जाइए खरगांव और यहाँ से गांडे और तमाम इन इलाकों में यहाँ से पतरातू हो गया आप जाइए तो वहाँ पे आप इसको मिसलीड कर रहे हैं नेशनल चैनल पे अरे मैं पशमानदा भी हूँ मैं झारखंड
लक्ष्मण
और हमें सब पता है और मैं इस पर
लक्ष्मण लाउडा लक्ष्मण
आपको कोई राइट नहीं है ट्राइबल्स के बारे में बोलने के लिए आपको कोई राइट नहीं है ट्राइबल के रिलीजियस आइडेंटिटी के बारे में बात करने के लिए आप किस मुंह से बात कर रहे हैं ट्राइबल्स के बारे में होते कौन है आप ट्राइबल्स के बारे में बात करने वाले पहले आप ट्राइबल्स के बारे में पढ़ के जाइए मुझे 10 ट्राइबल कम्युनिटी के नाम बता देंगे तो मैं जान जाऊंगी आप ट्राइबल के बारे में बात करते हैं आए हैं बात करने ट्राइबल की बात करने में ट्राइबल अब अनपढ़ नहीं है कि आप कुछ भी बोलेंगे मुंह में हम पहुंच जाएंगे वी आर इक्वली एजुकेटेड वी कैन रेज वॉइस एंड वी कैन रेज योर कंसर्न्स हु आर यू टू डिसाइड वेदर वी आर हिंदूज और नॉट इट इज आवर मैटर वी विल डिसाइड वी आर polytheistic society we will decide where we want to go you have no right to question who are you to decide whether tribals are Hindu or not you mind your own business how can you tell Birsa Munda was this or that he started Birsaiyat it is part of Sanatan Dharma Birsa Munda was the biggest Sanatan Dharma practitioner okay and he brought back many people what he said you should read Birsa Munda before quoting him wrongly you don't know about Birsa Munda you read Birsa Munda first then come and speak about tribals what do you know about tribals in Mahabharata Shiva was depicted as a bheel do you know that Vanvasi Ram he was depicted as bheel and Uddhav there are entire scriptures have been filled by the pride of tribal people how can you say that we are part and parcel of Hindutva dharma and our entire system we are entire system our worship system belongs to Hindu dharma who are you to decide whether we worship which god or X god or Vanaspati even you don't know the definition of Vanaspati do you know what is Vanaspati is not Vanaspati tribal worship Prakriti they are Panchabhut we worship Panchabhutas what are the Panchabhutas Our gods are Shiva.
वनस्पति क्या होता
God
है?
is Parvati. We worship Kali.
वो डीटीज और गॉड्स की पूजा नहीं करते हैं और अपने आप को वो डिफाइन नहीं करते हैं।
डिफरेंस है
शेड्यूल कास्ट
हिंदी
और
ठीक कर
शेड्यूल
लीजिए।
ट्राइब्स आर
पहले आप पहले ट्राइबल्स के बारे में बात करना बंद कर दीजिए। आपके लिए हम केवल एक शब्द है, हम काफिर है। आपके लिए हम मुस्लिमों के लिए केवल काफिर है, तो हम आपके लिए काफिर ही बेहतर है। हमें आप ना बताइए। आप एक
बीजेपी ज्वाइन करने के बाद इस तरह की बातें कर रहे हैं। आप आरएसएस ज्वाइन करने के बाद ऐसी बातें कर रहे हैं। अरे हमारे यहाँ से सुनिए, झारखंड के सब हमारे भाई हैं और आपसे ज्यादा हमारे करीब हैं।
लक्ष्मण दोस्त हैं। मैं झारखंड के भी बहुत से भाइयों को जानता हूँ। आप कभी झारखंड से ज्यादा आदिवासी मध्य प्रदेश में रहते हैं। 1.5 करोड़ लोग मध्य प्रदेश में रहते हैं। देश का 14% आदिवासी मध्य प्रदेश में रहता है। ठीक है, झारखंड से ज्यादा आदिवासी मध्य प्रदेश में रहते हैं। आपको पता क्या होगा झारखंड के बारे में? आप कभी गुमला गए हैं? आप कभी जशपुर गए हैं? आप कितने जिलों के नाम बता सकते हैं झारखंड से? मैं झारखंड के 18 जिलों के नाम बता देता हूँ, जिसमें सरना सनातन के लेकर सैकड़ों मंदिर वहां पर हैं। वहां पर शिव गंगा की पूजा होती है। आप मुझे एक सरना की एक प्रक्रिया बता दीजिए। आपने केवल झारखंड में 10,000 हेक्टेयर जो जमीन आपने लव जिहाद और लैंड जिहाद के नाम पर कब्जा किया ना, ये आपको वो दिक्कत सता रही है कि अगर आदिवासियों को हिंदू में गिनेंगे तो हमारे हाथ से जमीनें चली जाएंगी। आपको ये दिक्कत सता रही है कि अगर यूसीसी लागू हो गया तो
I want Amitosh Parikh to come in right now. Amitosh Parikh and Tariq Lari have not spoken. Right? Amitosh Parikh is spokesperson of the Vishwa Hindu Parishad. Amitosh ji, how does the Vishwa Hindu Parishad see this comment? Amitosh.
Exactly, Arnab. Yeah. And first of all, the Hindus are not been defined and categorized as per Quran, but we have already been time and again been categorized and defined by Honorable Supreme Court of India and by the various laws which is coming under the ambit of Constitution. So let me clear one very basic point. The Hindu Minority Act and Hindu Succession Act defines Lingya as Hindus. So I believe the fake propaganda of bifurcating Lingya from Hindus is just a mere propaganda. Hindu Marriage Act, Hindu Succession Act, Section 2 specifically says Jainism, Buddhism and Sikhism are considered to be a part of Hindu, but the Muslims, Christians and Jews are not Hindus. Coming on the other point, when they were sleeping and not defining what Hindus are, we have seen one thing. Himalayan Sambat Yavat Bindu Sarvaram, Hindustan Mati Gyatam Hi, Amitishan Agyotam. That means the person coming in Hindustan are considered to be Hindu. They should ask questions from themselves whether they were the coward Hindus who were converted themselves under the garb of religion of Islam. Now they are all one now. We are not taking the same path. That they are all one when it comes against Surya, they are one when it comes against Tushar, they are all one when it comes against Tarun, they are all one when it has to kill lynching of Palghat, when they are all one when they have to kill a sadhu as they do now. They are all one when they have to support terrorism, they are all one when they have to support Tablighi, they are one when they have to support every halal certificate. I believe the Islamic preachers are just teaching radicalization of the garb of a talks of religion, and I think we are not to be defined by the Hindus are united, Hindus are one, and therefore the Quran will not define Hinduism. But the Quran will say one thing, Arnab. Let me speak on one thing. The verse number 9.2.
One minute. At this point, 1 second. Amitosh, I have limited time. I am going to Tariq, that's why. Tariq, as you know, there is no Hindu equivalent concept of kafir. Right? There's no concept in Hinduism that anyone who is not Hindu, there's no equivalent or Sanskrit or Hindu equivalent of the word kafir, as you agree. Therefore, the very definition of Hinduism, it's a polytheistic, all-accommodating, right, multi-deity, right, multilinguistic religion, philosophy, and Hindutva being its way of life. It's very, it's a very deep religion. Now, could you tell me whether you are Ashraf or you are Pasmanda? And why is it true that the Ashrafs have largely accumulated all power among the Hindu community? Are you Ashraf by any chance?
First of all, I would like to say that Samajwadi Party does not consider these type of statement. Strictly condemned, बहुत सख्त इसके ऊपर नाराजगी जाहिर करती है और इस स्टेटमेंट से अपने आप को दूर करती है जो एक कल्ट जिसको जो रिप्रेजेंट करता है एक मिनट भाई, एक मिनट, मैं इतनी देर से नहीं बोला हूँ, प्लीज अब रुक जाइए। धन्यवाद, मैं जा रहा हूँ।
मत जाइए तारिक जी, मत जाइए। one second, calm down। तारिक प्लीज स्पीक, we have limited time।
करने दिए, जब बात ही नहीं सुननी है। आप 9 बजे से बैठा के 2 मिनट के लिए मुझे बुला रहे हैं, तो मुझे फिर 2 मिनट के लिए आखिरी में बुलाइए, और ऊपर से लोगों को बोलने दे रहे हैं बीच में। मैं तो नहीं बोल रहा हूं यार, ये तरीका नहीं होता अर्नब भाई। आई एम सॉरी टू से, पहले बात सुनिए उसके बाद बात करिएगा।
आपकी इंट्रोडक्शन
पहले पूरी बात सुनना सीखिए। समाजवादी पार्टी सख्ती के साथ इसको कंडेम करती है, और ऑल इंडिया मुस्लिम पर्सनल लॉ बोर्ड को बिल्कुल उनके स्टेटमेंट से अपने आप को दस्तबरदार करती है। क्या इनका कहने का मतलब है अखिलेश यादव हिंदू नहीं है, मायावती हिंदू नहीं है, लालू जी हिंदू नहीं है? क्या बकवास की बातें कर रहे हैं ये बेसिकली एक कल्ट है जो 0.0001% मुसलमानों को रिप्रेजेंट करता है, मुझे रिप्रेजेंट नहीं करता है। एंड दे आर नॉट मेड फॉर, ये क्या नाम है, पॉलिटिकल स्टेटमेंट्स के लिए नहीं बने हैं, ये अपलिफ्टमेंट के लिए बने हैं मुस्लिम कम्युनिटी के। तो मुस्लिम कम्युनिटी के बारे में सोचें और मुस्लिम कम्युनिटी के बारे में बात करें, दूसरी कम्युनिटी का इनसे कोई मतलब नहीं है।
well that, say that to Jamai, let Jamai hear that, let Jamai hear that. Say that to Jamai, yeah, well said.
I don't want.
Say that to Jamai, let Jamai, Shoaib Jamai hear that.
You do listen.
Let Tala hear that.
I don't want anything.
No, Tala and Shoaib Jamai must hear what you're saying.
मुझसे पूछा मैं अशरफ हूँ कि मैं क्या हूँ? पहले बात सुनिए।
वो तो मैंने पूछा, आप अशरफ है कि पसमंदा है?
क्या हूँ? तो मैं आपको ये जवाब दे दूँ कि मैं इराक से आया हुआ बंदा हूँ जो इस्लाम से पहले जहाँ पे 3 देवियों की पूजा होती थी, उसके बाद मैं मुसलमान बना हूँ, और मुसलमान बनकर मैं हिंदुस्तान आया हूँ, और मैं सनातनी हिंदुस्तानी पक्का मुसलमान हूँ। बाकी जो चूल्हे भाड़ में जाए क्या है, अशरफ है कि
सनातनी हिंदुस्तानी कहा? अब देखिए,
आप है सनातनी हिंदुस्तानी, आप सनातनी हिंदुस्तानी हिंदू हैं, और मैं सनातनी हिंदुस्तानी मुसलमान हूँ।
ये बोले सनातनी मुसलमान कहा, आज समाजवादी पार्टी के लारी जी ने अपने आप को सनातनी मुसलमान कहा।
डोंट केयर एनीवन।
दिस इज द ग्रोइंग ट्रेंड इन इंडिया।
सेकुलर मुस्लिम,
सनातनी हिंदुस्तानी मुसलमान,
सनातनी हिंदुस्तानी मुसलमान कहा।
सनातनी मुसलमान इन्हीं को कहते हैं स्यूडो सेक्युलर। इन्हीं की बात मौलाना सज्जाद नुमानी कर रहे थे। वोट के लिए कुछ भी बन जाएंगे, सनातनी मुसलमान बन जाएंगे, कंडेम कर देंगे। इनके आगे
वो तो पागल आदमी है, वो तो पागल हो गया है, वो बुढ़ा पागल हो गया।
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. No abuse, no personal comments, and I thank everyone tonight for joining me on that debate. Ladies and gentlemen, we hope that all the divisions in every community end, especially the ongoing divisions in the Muslim community, which are very bad, they must end. And I shall see you tomorrow. Good night and goodbye.
QS&THE, the world's foremost university rankings organizations, have ranked Amity amongst the top 3% universities globally, making it among the very few Indian universities to be included in both rankings. Yet another top ranking for Amity University.
Sir, what about safety from fire? Cable कौन सा लगाया है?
अरे केबल का क्या है, कोई भी चलता है।
यही चलता है, बाद में जलता है। 90% of the electrical fires are caused due to short circuit. Give lot of importance to consider fire safe cable. Ignamo, the fire safe cables from Ravi. Remember, business is safe if your cable is fire safe.
Tonight there's an image that's going viral, and that is from the G7 summit happening in the French Alps. And what is that one image? It is the image of a long and warm conversation between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is the image. When Narendra Modi enters the room and Donald Trump stands up, shakes hands, and then they are talking hand in hand for a long time. This is happening in the G7 summit in Evian. And I want to tell you right at the start why this one handshake carries far more weight than the photograph in front of you suggests. Because if you see the positioning, you see the importance in the global arena of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India.
जब तक लाजवाब न बन जाए उसे नहीं इत्मीनान है तभी तो रिचमैन बनना नहीं आसान है.
Tonight there's an image that's going viral, and that is from the G7 summit happening in the French Alps. And what is that one image? It is the image of a long and warm conversation between Donald Trump and Prime Minister Narendra Modi. That is the image. When Narendra Modi enters the room and Donald Trump stands up, shakes hands, and then they are talking hand in hand for a long time. This is happening in the G7 summit in Evian. And I want to tell you right at the start why this one handshake carries far more weight than the photograph in front of you suggests. Because if you see the positioning, you see the importance in the global arena of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and India, and we should all feel extremely proud of that. If you see the official picture that is taken, and that itself is power play of a different kind, and I would like to show those pictures. When the official picture is taken in Evian, France, where the G7 meeting is happening, you see Donald Trump come out for the official photograph, and then he walks down the blue carpet, and then he has a conversation with Macron. And
पार्टनरशिप की बहुत बड़ी ताकत बन रही है. मैं आप सभी के लिए भारत से 140 करोड़ देशवासियों की शुभकामनाएं लेकर के आया हूं. इस आत्मीय स्वागत के लिए मैं आप सभी का हृदय से आभार व्यक्त करता हूं. साथियों, आज मैं ऐसे समय में फ्रांस आया हूं जब कुछ ही दिन पहले हमारी सरकार के 12 वर्ष पूरे हुए हैं. चुने हुए प्रधानमंत्री के रूप में निरंतर 12 साल तक देश की सेवा करना मेरे जीवन का बहुत बड़ा सौभाग्य रहा है. यह भारत के लोकतंत्र की शक्ति है जिसने एक चाय वाले को यहां तक पहुंचा दिया. साथियों, बीते 12 वर्ष 140 करोड़ भारतीयों के अद्भुत सामर्थ्य के रहे हैं. 12 साल के इस कालखंड में भारत का जीडीपी 2 गुना हुआ है. एयरपोर्ट की संख्या 2 गुनी हुई है. यूनिवर्सिटीज की संख्या भी 2 गुनी हो गई है. हाईवे कंस्ट्रक्शन की स्पीड 3 गुना बढ़ गई है और मेट्रो नेटवर्क 4 गुना बड़ा हो गया है. मैं आपको कुछ और फैक्ट दूंगा, इससे आप अंदाजा लगा पाएंगे कि भारत किस स्पीड और कितने बड़े स्केल पर काम कर रहा है। पिछले 12 वर्षों में भारत का एक्सपोर्ट 35 गुना यानी 35 टाइम्स बढ़ गया है। और एक फैक्ट सुनिए, भारत में मोबाइल मैन्युफैक्चरिंग यूनिट्स में 100 गुना की बढ़ोतरी हुई है, 100 टाइम। भारत अब दुनिया का दूसरा सबसे बड़ा मोबाइल फोन मैन्युफैक्चरर है। इसी गति, इसी प्रगति का नतीजा है कि आज भारत दुनिया की फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग मेजर इकोनॉमी है। साथियों, आज भारत की कहानी सिर्फ इकोनॉमिक प्रोग्रेस की कहानी नहीं है, सिर्फ यहां अटक नहीं जाती है। ये सोशल ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन की भी कहानी है। पिछले 12 साल में देश में 25 करोड़ लोग, यह आंकड़ा सुनकर के आप भी हैरान हो जाएंगे, 25 करोड़ लोग गरीबी से बाहर निकले हैं। यानी एक ऐसी प्रगति जिसका लाभ समाज के अंतिम व्यक्ति तक पहुंच रहा है। फ्रांस में जितने घर हैं, पूरे फ्रांस में टोटल जितने घर हैं, उससे भी अधिक पक्के घर बीते 12 वर्षों में हमने जरूरतमंदों के लिए बनाए हैं। अब हर परिवार के पास, गरीब से गरीब क्यों न हो, बैंक अकाउंट है। फाइनेंशियल इंक्लूजन एक सरकारी कार्यक्रम नहीं, बल्कि सामाजिक परिवर्तन का अभियान बना है। साथियों, इन 12 वर्षों की उपलब्धियों में एक उपलब्धि ऐसी भी है जिसे किसी आंकड़ों से या अंकों से नहीं मापा जा सकता। वह है 140 करोड़ भारतीयों का आत्मविश्वास। आज का भारत और आज के भारत का युवा बहुत बड़े सपने देख रहा है। भारत का किसान नई संभावनाओं के साथ आगे बढ़ रहा है। भारत की महिलाएं नए नेतृत्व का परिचय दे रही हैं। इसलिए ये सिर्फ अचीवमेंट्स के 12 साल नहीं है, ये भारत की एस्पिरेशंस को नई बुलंदी देने का कालखंड रहा है। साथियों, एक समय था जब दूर दराज के गांवों तक आधुनिक सुविधाएं पहुंचाना वाकई बहुत मुश्किल भरा था। आज उन्हीं गांवों में बिजली भी है, इंटरनेट भी है और डिजिटल सेवाओं की पूरी दुनिया भी है। आज एक क्लिक पर कभी भी कहीं भी बैंकिंग सेवाएं उपलब्ध है। आज मोबाइल फोन भारत के नागरिकों को अनेक सुविधाओं से कनेक्ट कर रहा है। हमारे किसान, हमारे मछुआरे, हमारे डेयरी फार्मर्स, हमारी महिलाएं, हमारे स्टूडेंट्स सभी टेक्नोलॉजी के माध्यम से सशक्त हो रहे हैं और अपने लिए नए अवसर बना रहे हैं। साथियों, आपने 125 करोड़ से अधिक आधार आईडीज के बारे में सुना है, लेकिन आज भारत सिर्फ पहचान को डिजिटल नहीं बना रहा। आज करीब 90 करोड़ भारतीयों की यूनिक डिजिटल हेल्थ आईडीज बनाई जा चुकी है, जिससे मेडिकल रिकॉर्ड सुरक्षित और एक्सेसिबल बन गए हैं। इससे हेल्थ केयर डिलीवरी और अधिक आसान और एफिशिएंट हो रही है। साथियों, इन उपलब्धियों की सबसे बड़ी विशेषता यह है कि इनमें से अधिकांश चीजें कुछ वर्ष पहले तक कल्पना जैसी लगती थी। कौन सोच सकता था कि गांव-गांव तक हाई स्पीड इंटरनेट पहुंचेगा? कौन सोच सकता था कि दूर सुदूर के गांव में भी क्यूआर कोड जीवन का हिस्सा बन जाएगा? गांव में कोई बहन ड्रोन से खेती करने में मदद करेगी, ये भी असंभव लगता था। लेकिन आज यह सब भारत के करोड़ों लोगों के जीवन का सामान्य हिस्सा बनता जा रहा है। और आपको गर्व होगा साथियों, यही नए भारत की पहचान है। जो कभी सपना था वो आज सच्चाई है। जो कभी नामुमकिन लगता था वो आज मुमकिन हुआ है। और ये करने के पीछे सबसे बड़ी ताकत क्या है? किसकी वजह से सब संभव हुआ है? ये मोदी के कारण नहीं, वो ताकत है भारत का लोकतंत्र, भारत की डेमोक्रेसी। इस डेमोक्रेसी में सबका साथ है, सबका विकास है। साथियों, आज से 50 या 100 साल बाद जब भारत के इस कालखंड की समीक्षा होगी तो ये बात उभर कर सामने आएगी कि इस कालखंड को भारत की एस्पिरेशंस ने ड्राइव किया। ये भारत के एस्पिरेशंस का नया युग है, जहां बिजली पहुंची है वहां लोग सिर्फ बिजली नहीं चाहते, वे स्मार्ट लिविंग चाहते हैं। जहां ट्रेन पहुंची है वहां लोग हाई स्पीड कनेक्टिविटी चाहते हैं। जहां हाईवे बने हैं वहां लोग वर्ल्ड क्लास एक्सप्रेसवे चाहते हैं। जहां इंटरनेट पहुंचा है वहां लोग एआई और डिजिटल इनोवेशन में नेतृत्व चाहते हैं। यानी आज भारत के लोग अपने जीवन को भी नेक्स्ट लेवल पर ले जाना चाहते हैं और भारत को भी नेक्स्ट लेवल पर ले जाना उनका मकसद है, उनका संकल्प है, उनके सपने हैं। और साथियों, यही एस्पिरेशंस आज भारत की विकास यात्रा की सबसे बड़ी शक्ति है। मैं आपको भारत की स्पेस जर्नी का उदाहरण दूंगा। भारत ने चंद्रयान को चंद्रमा के साउथ पोल पर उतारा। दुनिया ने इसे एक बहुत बड़ी उपलब्धि माना, लेकिन भारत इसे अपनी मंजिल मानकर रुका नहीं। बहुत हो गया मोदी जी, अब चलेगा नहीं। आज देश गगनयान की तैयारी कर रहा है। आज भारत अंतरिक्ष में अपना स्पेस स्टेशन बनाने की दिशा में आगे बढ़ रहा है। हमारे स्पेस स्टार्टअप्स ग्लोबल स्पेस इकोनॉमी में अपनी जगह बनाने के लिए पुरजोश काम कर रहे हैं, आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। साथियों, ग्रीन एनर्जी के क्षेत्र में भी भारत की यही एस्पिरेशन दिखाई देती है। सोलर पावर में भारत की उपलब्धियों की दुनिया भर में लगातार चर्चा हो रही है, लेकिन भारत अगली छलांग की तैयारी कर रहा है। ग्रीन हाइड्रोजन में बड़े निवेश हो रहे हैं। एडवांस न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी पर तेजी से काम हो रहा है। आपने भारत के फास्ट ब्रीडर न्यूक्लियर रिएक्टर से जुड़ी प्रोग्रेस के बारे में भी जरूर सुना होगा। ये भारत के न्यूक्लियर एनर्जी लैंडस्केप में क्रांतिकारी परिवर्तन करने का ये बहुत बड़ा अचीवमेंट हमारे साइंटिस्टों ने किया है। साथियों, आज का भारत भविष्य का पूरा इकोसिस्टम बना रहा है। भारत एक साथ हर उस क्षेत्र में निवेश कर रहा है जो आने वाले दशकों की दिशा तय करेगा। अभी आपने कुछ दिन पहले ही देखा है, नीस में भारत इनोवेट्स का एक आयोजन किया। ये इवेंट भारत के डीप टेक सामर्थ्य को दुनिया तक पहुंचाने का एक और माध्यम था। इसमें भारत के 120 डीप टेक स्टार्टअप्स उपस्थित थे। भारत इनोवेट्स में करीब 1400 B2B मीटिंग हुई है। कई स्टार्टअप्स के लिए इन्वेस्टमेंट कमिटमेंट्स आगे बढ़ी। कॉमर्शियल ऑर्डर्स के लिए रास्ते खुले। फ्रेंच और यूरोपियन यूनिवर्सिटी तथा इंक्यूबेटर्स के साथ एंगेजमेंट बढ़ रही है। स्टूडेंट एक्सचेंजेस, ज्वाइंट रिसर्च और इनोवेशन सपोर्ट के नए रास्ते बने हैं। इसलिए भारत इनोवेट्स सिर्फ एक समिट नहीं रहा, ये इनोवेशन डिप्लोमेसी का एक नया मॉडल बना है और आज ही पेरिस में विवा टेक इवेंट